West News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:10. I'm Manda Factor. An Arlington police officer is under arrest accused of having explicit images of children. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker reports the Island County Sheriff's Office arrested that officer.
In a statement about this, the Arlington Police Department told KIRO 7, quote, "These allegations are deeply troubling and, if proven true, would stand in direct opposition to the values, oath, and mission of this department." The department says the officer has been put on leave while both a criminal investigation and an internal investigation move forward.
A corrections officer in Mason County is facing charges tied to child sexual abuse images. King 5 reports the 42-year-old was arrested Tuesday at the Washington Correction Center where he works. Investigators say he had videos depicting child sex abuse on his phone. The arrest came out of a National Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force investigation. A Department of Corrections spokesperson says the man's been placed on home assignment while that case moves through the courts. The CEO of the Humane Society of Tacoma in Pierce County is out. The move comes 2 weeks after a dog in their care killed another dog at the Tacoma City Marathon. It's not clear yet if Leslie Dalzell was fired or stepped down. We get more from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
All we got from them was a statement that read in part, quote, that they were announcing the departure of Chief Executive Officer Leslie Dalzell. Here's more of the statement we got from them that reads in part, the board will now assume leadership responsibilities for operations and services.
The Humane Society says it's bringing in a national firm to help find the next CEO. The FBI is warning Seattle area families about an AI-powered virtual kidnapping scam. We learn more from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The FBI says high-tech criminals are using AI voice cloning, altered photos, and manipulated proof-of-life videos gathered from social media to convince unsuspecting family members. And an immediate ransom payment is demanded. Here's FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Gerald Birkin.
These are very real, very believable, and very traumatic for the people that are involved.
Experts recommend coming up with a family code word, taking screenshots of any threats, and reporting suspected scams to the FBI's Internet Complaints website at ic3.gov. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
So what do you do after losing a bid for a second term as Seattle mayor? If you're Bruce Harrell, you run a clothing company. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports Harrell was named CEO of Philium, a Seattle-based sustainable clothing maker. The company was founded in 2015 and recently expanded its advisory board with former executives from Nordstrom and Puma. Harrell narrowly lost his re-election bid about 6 months ago. And the Mariners held on yesterday for a big series win against the Chicago White Sox. After a brutal showing Tuesday, Seattle's bats woke up yesterday.
Here's the offer to Randy. Swung on, drilled, left center field. This has a chance. It's on its way. It is into the pen. Goodbye, Randy Arozarena. 2-run home run. The Mariners lead 5-2.
The Mariners would go on to win 5-4. Team has the day off today before heading to Kansas City to take on the Royals over the weekend. You can catch every game, of course, this weekend on our sister station 710 Seattle Sports. It's 5:13. That's time for a check on traffic. Chris Sullivan is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Manda. We're off to a very good start, as you would imagine. Not a lot of action today on this Thursday morning. Just seeing freeway speeds everywhere. If you're coming up from the Olympia area, no problems for you guys. Have a nice 30-minute trip for you to Tacoma, and then Federal Way to Seattle's about 35. Most of, not all of Pierce County is green on the map, with Puyallup to Renton only 35 minutes. Renton to Bellevue's about 15. Coming down from the north end, no action from Arlington down through Marysville, through Everett, on Linwood and on down, so 35 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. The lake bridges continue to be in very good shape. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Here comes the sun. It's going to be lovely for the next few days. Today, mostly sunny, 74, just a tad warmer, and the sunshine tomorrow. So far, the holiday weekend still looks like we might see some rain by Monday, but until then, pretty nice. Partly sunny both Saturday and Sunday, and highs around 70. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 53 degrees. Coming up, G. Scott stops by to weigh in on the rising price of home ownership in Seattle. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up. And for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We know this, Shannon. When the weather warms, our baseball team's bats usually get a little hotter. We also know that maybe we've been sitting around and we try to crank things to 100 and our bodies don't quite react. As the weather gets warmer, do you see more folks at IRG?
Absolutely, Brock. You know, you just mentioned it. As the weather warms up, people think they need to get outside, which is great. But sometimes they get outside, they start too fast, too quick, and they don't warm up. They don't stretch. They don't do preparation. If you find yourself in that situation where maybe you overdid it, you're hurt, you got a bruise, a bump, an ache, get a hold of us at IRG PT. We'll do a free injury screening, and we'll give you some guidance, some recommendations to keep you on your path of healthy function, pain-free activity.
How cool is that? A free screening for you and no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit IRGPT.com and schedule your appointment today. Over 40 convenient locations. IRG's in your neighborhood. IRGPT.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is, his big comeback from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon here on KIRO Newsradio.
One day.
We were all weeping, gnashing our teeth, missing you, G.
So
welcome
much,
back.
Usually I text my dog, DB, David Burbank, and be like, hey, I'm out today. Yesterday, I didn't even text David.
Yeah.
Anyway, your boy's back, and David sends me this thing, and there's a new report that says that Seattle area renters now need to spend more than double their current housing costs if they want to own a home instead of rent. Now, here's the thing. I think that this is bigger than just housing. So I want to explain to you guys how we have a math problem. Now, usually what you all, and you listening right now, when most people are talking to you about this topic, most of the time they're telling you that it's a character problem. So here's what I want to do. I want to show you the math on it. So then that way you can't say, oh, gee, you're always thinking that way. I want to give some facts on this topic. Now, back in the day, right, whenever that day was, one regular job, one income could buy a house, get a car, and there still be money left over for a couple vacations during the year on one income. Today, you need 2 incomes, some side hustles, a prayer, and maybe a mama or a grandparent that maybe can help you out with a down payment. You need all of that to be able to do those things. That's where the math is. So let me give you some facts. Wages in this country have taken the stairs. By the way, did I tell you guys when I go to the gym every day, There's stairs that you can take, and there's an elevator you can take. And I'm telling you, a lot of times I want to take the elevator, Amanda, because it's so early in the morning. I don't want to hit them stairs, but I hit them stairs.
Like how many stories are we talking?
Choose two.
Okay.
It's some stories now.
Okay.
But I want to talk about wages. And wages have taken the stairs, but the cost of living has taken a rocket. Yeah. You know what I mean? A rocket ship. Does that make sense? Let me give you some numbers. In 1980, the median home cost was $47,000. Today in this country, it's over $400,000. I ain't the best with math, but that's 1,000% increase. Wages have only gone up 300%. You see how that math go, Charlie? That math ain't mathing, is it? Yeah, it's something, huh? So, again, a lot of times we tell the younger generations, we tell Nick and all of his friends, right? And we tell David Burbank, you just need to work harder. And as a matter of fact, back in my day, I packed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every single day, and that's what I did going for lunch, right? But the thing is this. I know, and by the way, I know Charlie going to ask what's the solution. Here's the solution.
Okay.
Can we get wages to catch up with the cost, right? Like, because even if you save on avocado toast and not buy lattes, you would still have to not buy like 700 and something times to match what it used to be back in the day. So it's one of two things. Either people don't know these numbers that I just gave of a median home price in 1980 being $47,000 and today is $400,000. Either they don't know that, that's possible, or they do know that, but they choose not to acknowledge it. So I'll ask, Charlie, which one do you think it is?
Well, I guess my question would be, what about the macroeconomics where when people's wages go up, and by the way, I'm in complete agreement with what you're saying, when wages go up, everything becomes more expensive. What happens then? It's like we're chasing after this target, and I think we are just fundamentally broken in terms of being able to achieve home ownership, especially someone like David over here.
We're not fundamentally broken. We ain't got no problem paying these CEOs 1,200-1,300% more than they used to. Huh? Yeah. How we broke? How was the system
I'm talking
broken?
about the macroeconomic impact of everything becomes more expensive when wages go up. That's just the way it is.
But
look what happened during the pandemic. We put so much money into the economy. Yeah. Look at what happened with inflation.
Yeah.
So that's what I guess I'm trying to get back to is I would like to think that's true, but it's like it's a fundamentally broken system right now.
You're right, and it is a benefit to the people at the top if the system stays broken, Charlie. Let me give you a broken system. I got about 30 seconds before Amanda kicks me out. Yep. Here's an example of a broken system. Right now, Jeff Bezos is on everywhere saying, hey, the bottom half should not pay a federal income tax of if you make $75,000 or less, and to which Jeff Bezos still doesn't want to pay his fair share. But by the way, did you know that right now, one of the top 10 companies of having employees that are on government assistance, did you know Amazon is in there? So when you talk about the federal income, that federal income goes to subsidize those people that are working for that big company that's making the money. And by the way, they get to write that off.
Gee, Scott there. It's going to be a beautiful day, mostly sunny today and tomorrow with highs in the mid-70s. Saturday will cool off just a little bit, partly sunny. The clouds are going to start to build on Sunday. No rain, though, in the forecast until Monday. Still not quite clear on timing, but hopefully it'll hold off until you get through your holiday. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 53 degrees. And coming up, in case you missed it, an encore of Charlie Harger's commentary from yesterday. This is Seattle's Morning News.
The G and Ursula Show.
Prices in the Seattle area jumped nearly 5% in April.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Well above the national inflation rate of 3.8%. So, in other words, we're paying more than much of the rest of America is right now.
It feels like a treadmill. that continues to get faster and faster and faster, but somebody keeps speeding it up and increasing the incline.
Jay and Ursula. Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A rising blast, left field, grand slam, Rosarena.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Doctors Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar today at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, what is K2 Vision RLE? How long is the procedure and recovery time? Why can't you develop a cataract after having RLE? These questions and more will be covered today at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss this free live webinar today at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Well, I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage too. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I took the First Mark Challenge too, and I'm thrilled to say that First Mark is saving us thousands. Now, that's what I call a victory. I was with the same agent for so long, I simply assumed they were working hard to get me the best coverage and save me money. But it wasn't the case, and you should find out too by taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit, and that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, me included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge right now. It's totally free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or AdvancedHair.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. Staples, that was easy.
The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is on now. Don't miss out on 0 down, no payments all summer, and exclusive deals through May 31st. Visit them in Puyallup and Everett. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Offers available OAC on select models. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:31. A man injured in last week's massive trestle fire in Snohomish is now accused of setting that fire himself. According to the Everett Herald, the 51-year-old, who is reportedly experiencing homelessness, was rescued by deputies after he was found crawling along the railroad tracks. DJ Hill with Snohomish County Fire District 4 told KIRO News Radio.
It was well involved in the wooded area between kind of the corner where the airport road bends around the airport to basically the river.
The man was booked for second-degree arson, remains under investigation. He's now being held in the Snohomish County Jail on a $10,000 bond. People living along Seattle's Aurora Avenue say they are fed up with crime, and KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas reports they are demanding action.
They released a joint statement to Mayor Katie Wilson, council members, and Seattle police, calling the situation a public safety failure unfolding in real time. They say in part, quote, the continued lack of urgency communicates a devastating message that the safety of Aurora residents is acceptable collateral damage.
Arraignment for the man accused of fatally stabbing a University of Washington student more than 40 times was postponed yesterday. 31-year-old Christopher Leahy is charged with first-degree murder for the brutal killing of Juniper Blessing in the laundry room at Nordheim Court Apartments. Attorneys representing Leahy asked for a continuance or a delay in the proceedings so concerns over his mental health and competency can be addressed. The judge found good cause and granted that request. He'll be back in court June 4th. Right now, dogs can take in the sea air on all Washington state ferry routes.
But yes, people are stoked when we did this in the trial, and we hope that people are even more stoked now. I know there are a little bit more restrictions in the trial, but as of right now, this is what we're calling no longer a trial, but permanent.
Justin Fujioka is with the State Ferry Service. He says last year's pilot program helped them create this year's rules. Pets allowed on the car deck and outside and in special pet areas inside, just not in the galleries or on the seats. It's 5:33, time for a check on traffic. And is it still quiet, Sully?
Yes, it is, and let's try to keep it going. I know it's super early at 5:33, but we're still doing okay. We've got about a 35-minute trip for just about most of our routes. That's what it's going to take you from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Get about a 35-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, about 35 up the Valley Freeway as well. Only 15 from Renton to Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is only a half an hour. Lake bridges are still fine, so let's try to keep it going. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Here comes the sunshine again, mostly sunny, 74 for today, just a tad warmer in the sunshine tomorrow. The weekend still looks mostly nice. Partly cloudy on Saturday and 73. Building clouds on Sunday, upper 60s, and we will likely see some rain on Memorial Day Monday. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 53.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
It's 5:35. In case you missed it, here's an encore of Charlie's commentary from yesterday, May 20th.
Someone in Seattle picked up a brush. The city painted the flags of World Cup nations on support columns downtown right under the monorail. Iran's column went up with the current official flag of the Islamic Republic, the one the regime put up in 1979 when it took power. Well, not long after, somebody added something to it. They painted the historic lion and sun emblem onto the white band of the flag, the symbol the old flag carried, the symbol the regime erased, the symbol Iranian dissidents and exiles have carried ever since. No press conference, no protest, just a column near the monorail and a brush. The painting was removed, the official flag restored. Now, FIFA has a rule book, Article 3.1.24, if you're curious. No materials of a political, offensive, or discriminatory nature at World Cup venues. They have a lot of articles. This is the one they landed on. The lion and sun flag is banned from venues this summer. To be fair, you can't bring a hand-painted bedsheet to a Seahawks game at Lumen Field either. There are rules. Stadiums have codes of conduct. Nobody is arguing for a total flag anarchy at sporting events. But there's a difference between a stadium telling you have to leave a 40-foot banner at home and a foreign sports federation telling an Iranian American that the symbol of her people's resistance to a theocratic regime that executes dissidents is too controversial for an American stadium. Now, FIFA has also confirmed the Palestinian flag will be allowed. That's a completely separate question from anything else in this commentary. Flags are how soccer fans show up, and there's a reasonable case it belongs there. But if the Palestinian flag clears the bar, the lion and the sun flag cannot possibly fail it. Both make a statement about a government. One of those governments executes gay people for being gay. FIFA looked at the flag Iranian dissidents carry in protest of that government and said, nope, that one is too political. The regime's own flag is fine, though. Glad we sorted that out. It's also a matter of Pride Month. Iran plays Egypt at Lumen Field on June 26. Both governments have lobbied FIFA to tone down any pride displays at their matches. Has nothing to do with the flag question, except that it's the same organizations, the same regime, the same World Cup, and the same FIFA, all making these calls simultaneously. Egypt sentences people to 3 to 12 years in prison for homosexuality. Iran executes people. Seattle's organizing committee said no to toning down pride. A good call, the easy one given this city, but still the right one. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with a pride flag smuggled into Lumen Field. Okay, back to the brush. There is a sizable Iranian diaspora in Seattle. Some of them listen to this show. They came here, many of them, because of what the Islamic Republic did to their homeland, their families, and people like them. They're proud of their culture, their history, their people. They love Iran. They despise its government, and that distinction matters. The lion and sun flag isn't a protest sign to them. It isn't a political statement the way FIFA means it. It's home. It's who they were before 1979, and it's who they insist on remaining. And this summer, a foreign sports federation is going to stand at the gate of an American stadium and tell them, put it away. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably the last person you'd expect to get worked up about a soccer match. I really am. I won't be hanging on every World Cup soccer score. But somebody with a brush and no press conference snuck out in the middle of the night and painted a symbol of resistance onto a city column. That got my attention. This is America. People get to carry their flags here. All of them. Even the ones that make foreign sports federations nervous. Especially those. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat, YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio, and you can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 5:39. Stay with us for national headlines coming up next here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
CBS News Brief. A flight from Paris to Detroit was averted to Montreal, where a Congolese passenger was taken off over fears of Ebola. CBS's Jared Hill.
New restrictions take effect for foreign travelers who've been in Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the past 21 days, an attempt to contain any possible spread.
The flight eventually went on to Detroit. Repairs on a sinkhole that closed a runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport aren't expected to be complete until noon Eastern. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Potholes on runways and the taxiways at an airport are fairly unusual. But, like any roadway, something can undermine that surface and cause it to collapse.
A wildfire that's burned more than 2,600 acres north of L.A. since Monday, just 20% contained. Ventura County Fire Department spokesman Andrew Dowd.
We continue to make some very straightforward priorities. Protect life, protect property.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
It's 5:44. A check on the forecast. It's going to be gorgeous for the next few days. Mostly sunny, 74 for today. Overnight lows in the low 50s. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Saturday, partly sunny, 73. The clouds are going to start to thicken up on Sunday, and we expect some rain on Memorial Day. Nothing too threatening, though. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 53 degrees. And coming up, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna explains the latest push for a redrawing of our state's legislative maps. That's next here on Seattle's Morning News.
Summer's a busy time for businesses. WaFd bank accounts are designed to work with business owners like you, stay on top of every dollar, helping manage cash flow, pay vendors, and keep operations running smoothly. Get access to digital tools to simplify banking, like bill pay, signer and non-signer debit cards, and the option to upgrade your account as your business grows. Plus, our business bankers get to know you, so when you need help, we're there. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Spike O'Neill here for Ageless Living. Recently, my aunt had surgery, and she was home the next day. But we weren't sure if we were ready or equipped to give the kind of care that she needed, so we called Ageless Living and asked about respite care. A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Ageless Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to agelessliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It can be a much-needed break for a caregiver and a chance for you and your family to get a look and a taste of what Ageless Living offers. That's agelessliving.com/spike.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Last week, a federal judge in our state rejected a request to change the legislative maps in Washington. This, as states across the nation have seen a huge push for redistricting maps ahead of the midterm elections.
Let's bring in former State Attorney General Rob McKenna once again to break it down. So, Rob, this is based around a redrawn map from 2024. Can you explain what that redraw did?
Well, essentially, it created a Latino majority legislative district in Eastern Washington, the 14th legislative district, which basically extends from Yakima south to the Columbia River. And that new map replaced a previous map that had been produced by a bipartisan redistricting commission in 2023. Our state has a different way of creating districting maps than other states or most other states. We put in the Constitution that redistricting is accomplished by a bipartisan appointed committee, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 1 nonpartisan chair. And they have for many years been responsible for negotiating maps. And the idea is that because it's balanced and shared by a nonpartisan, you get better maps, as opposed to states that put the power of drawing the maps in the hands of whoever has the majority in the state legislature at the time.
So Louisiana versus Calais, this played a factor in it. Can you explain what that is?
Absolutely. So in Louisiana, a group of white voters challenged Louisiana's congressional map as an unconstitutional racial gerrymander after the state created a second district where a majority of voters are black. So in 2024, they redrew the lines in the state. They wanted to create a second district where black voters constituted a majority, and that was challenged. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that map is an unconstitutional racial gerrymander because the state didn't need to create a second minority district. So what the majority opinion held is that the historical evidence didn't show that the state's map was the result of intentional racial discrimination. The new map was the result of an intentional racial discrimination. And they're saying instead, you can't draw maps for the express purpose of creating majority-minority districts where you're using race to do that. They're saying on one hand, you can't intentionally discriminate against minority voters, by, pushing them into districts where their vote will be diluted. But on the other hand, you can't draw maps that have the opposite effect either. So they're trying to reduce the influence of race in districting decisions. Extremely controversial, of course, and it has triggered a wave of redistricting this year, which is unusual because redistricting normally occurs after the decennial census every 10 years, not partway through that 10-year period.
How does that equate to what's happening here in Washington?
Well, the plaintiffs who just got a negative ruling from the same judge who created the alternative map over in Eastern Washington argued that based on the Louisiana v. Calais decision that came down from the Supreme Court recently, this district court judge's decision to deliberately create a minority district, a Latino majority district, violated that principle because they're arguing that it was intentionally based on the use of race to draw the lines. And they said that is no longer allowed, under the Supreme Court's decision.
So it sounds like they are appealing this to the Supreme Court. Do you think that'll have any traction?
It's very, very challenging to get the Supreme Court to, grant review. They get hundreds of appeals for every case they actually grant review in. So the odds are against it. But, the Louisiana v. Calais decision is on the books now. And so one can anticipate future challenges that might have a better chance of actually reaching that court.
I'm curious. Governor Ferguson said on Friday that he is hoping that there is a supermajority for the Democrats in both the House and Senate in the upcoming elections. This would be in the state legislature. And he says he would personally lead the charge to do redistricting to essentially gerrymander our state's congressional maps, making it that all 10 seats are Republican. What went through your mind when you heard the governor saying that on Friday?
Well, there's a lot of criticism of the Louisiana decision and of the subsequent actions of, states that are predominantly Republican to redraw their maps. But, some of those same critics are now saying, well, we're going to do the same thing. So, it would be better if we stuck to our current approach of, a bipartisan process to draw maps instead of moving to more and more gerrymandering. I think gerrymandering undermines voter confidence in the electoral process, and it's unfair to voters in some cases. So it's unfortunate to see anyone say, "Well, they're doing it, so we can do it too." It's if you believe in the principle, you should follow the principle, I guess.
Rob, while we have you, one of the things we wanted to ask about is the fact former Governor Chris Gregoire has some pretty sharp words about Washington state government, and we noticed you happened to be sitting right next to her when she made those comments.
Yeah, we were keynoting the Association of Washington Business Spring Summit down in Vancouver, and she did make some very pointed comments about the fiscal mess that the state is in. They're projecting, deficits, in other words, more costs than revenues as far as the eye can see. And, she's saying that's not sustainable because it just produces demand for more and more and more taxes. And of course, taxes don't come out of the ground. They're paid by real people and by businesses that employ people and so forth. So you have a governor who, like her predecessor, Gary Locke, was, not a conservative, but I think fiscally very prudent. She steered our state through the Great Recession, which was an extremely difficult time for the state budget. And, she helped preserve the state's competitive advantages, which have, attracted a lot of very successful companies that have created enormous wealth working with the workers who are employed by those companies. And we all know who those companies are, but it isn't just the big ones like Amazon and Boeing. It's also a lot of smaller companies that have flourished. But the state, by, just passing one tax increase after another and making it more expensive to run a business here, is driving those businesses away. That's her point. And, whereas now we have the third highest per capita GDP in the country, we have the seventh highest average personal income in the country. In other words, we're one of the wealthiest states in America. we're at a high risk of losing those advantages as job creators pull out and more individuals who work for those companies also leave. I think that was her main point. So, unsustainable budgets are not a recipe for success. I think that's the main takeaway from her comments.
And our forecast at 5:54 this morning, mostly sunny, 74 the high. Pretty much the same tomorrow. It looks like Saturday we'll see a few clouds roll in, 73, building clouds on Sunday, and 68. By Monday, Memorial Day, hopefully the showers will hold off until later in the day, but we are looking for a little bit of rain, a little bit breezy too, and a high of only 59. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 53 degrees. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday. It's the 21st of May, and coming up, KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports on a string of law enforcement officers busted in the last several weeks. Also at 6:15, great conversation. We're going to hear about the dangers of artificial intelligence, but there are some exciting, healthy developments too. We're going to hear from Josh Tiringel. He's the author of AI for Good. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News. You can always reach out to us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, or send us a note on mynorthwest.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory is a little different. We actually reach out to the small business world, to Joel Taylor and Sean O'Donnell from Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants. Sean, when Joel brought this to you, the idea of why don't we take this First Mark Challenge victory, what was your thought?
My goal was to save some money and to simplify our operations. We've got 6 locations now, and along with that comes complications. And when things get complicated, things that are important get forgotten. First Mark was able to simplify that and also save us money.
Not only have they saved us money, they helped us identify some blind spots in our policies. Their service team has been phenomenal, unparalleled in my experience, given us a lot more solutions with better coverage, and just made too much sense.
First Mark's just made it easy for us.
So if you're a business owner and your insurance is in need of simplifying and streamlining and eliminate the stress, do what Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants did. Reach out to First Mark Insurance. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance, your teammate in the business world too. Going to work for you.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar today at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar today at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar today at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
John is a national champion ping pong player.
My greatest claim to fame is an actor who portrayed the Chinese national champion that played Forrest Gump. I played him in a national tournament and I actually beat him.
Competing at that level takes precision and healthy shoulders. But after years of wear and tear, he was dealing with a serious shoulder injury.
I had a slap tear. Success rate for the surgery was only about 15%.
Instead of surgery, he chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experience in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
The next day, I was pretty much 100%. I was pain-free. I had problems with my shoulder for 20 or 30 years.
And have you been able to compete again?
I won a national title 6 months after the procedure. My shoulder's like I'm an 18-year-old.
So whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to 4 nights with blood, sweat, and tears. Classic hits and big horns live on stage. May 21st through 24th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, Monty Alexander, May 28th through 31st.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Health experts are questioning procedure after an Air France flight from Paris to Detroit made an unscheduled stop in Montreal, where a passenger was escorted off the plane over an Ebola scare. CBS News medical correspondent Dr. Celine Gounder.
Should people be worried about this? No, you're not going to catch Ebola from sitting next to somebody who doesn't have symptoms on the plane. And I think it was really sending the wrong message for the flight attendants to be masking up, because that's going to be scaring people unnecessarily.
The plane, passenger that is, from Congo, the plane flew on to Detroit. Air France says the flight landed in Canada after it was denied entry into the U.S. On Monday, the Trump administration closed these borders to anyone who'd been in Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan. Travel troubles at the airport in New York. A sinkhole on a runway at LaGuardia triggered delays and cancellations last night, and the repairs aren't finished yet. CBS New York's Elijah Westbrook is at the airport.
They're telling us that the goal is to have the impacted runway open at around 12 p.m. today. But in the meantime, they are urging travelers, early morning travelers in particular, to expect delays and potentially cancellations while the work is being done. Right now, there's only one runway that is open, so it's limiting just how many planes can take off and land.
3 people died. 18 first responders were hospitalized after they were exposed to an unknown substance in New Mexico.
The call came in as a possible drug overdose in a home in the small town of Mountain Air. Police found 4 victims. 2 were already dead. A third died later. 18 first responders started feeling dizzy and nauseous and were decontaminated at a local hospital. Mountain Air Mayor Peter Nieto says 2 of them are in serious condition.
You still have our EMS chief and others who are still with illnesses or being monitored at the hospital. It's a very scary situation.
Investigators say there is no threat to the public. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Mark Zuckerberg's Meta has begun slashing its global workforce. Business Insider's Hugh Langley says it's all about artificial intelligence.
He has this vision of basically cutting out middle managers, almost getting rid of a lot of managers entirely, smaller teams working more with AI and trying to be more efficient that way.
Countdown's underway for test launch of SpaceX massive Starship rocket later today. Space consultant Bill Harwood.
The SpaceX sees the Super Heavy Starship rocket as the centerpiece of the company's future. It's the most powerful rocket ever built, with twice the liftoff thrust of NASA's SLS moon rocket, and it's designed to be fully reusable. That's never been done before.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Y'all came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
6:03, let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Morning, Charlie. We're doing pretty good as we start this Thursday morning. No action out there. Just a little bit of braking here and there. A little bit of yellow on the map if you're up the I-5 corridor, say around the Kent-Des Moines Road. But that's about it. We're under 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway is under 40 as well. Just some slight hesitation into Kent, a little bit at the north end. Renton to Bellevue is running under 20. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. Just some slight hesitation through Nisqually up towards DuPont. But again, under 35 minutes to make that trip. Coming down from the north end, haven't quite heated up yet to get you 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, but we're getting close. Lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by the Harnish Auto Family. The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale now through May 31st. Exclusive deals, 0 down, no payments all summer on approval of credit. In Puyallup and Everett, Harnish Auto Family, people matter.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. 4 local law enforcement officers have been arrested in just the last week.
3 of these arrests involve crimes against children. What you're about to hear is sensitive, and we get more live from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Good morning. And Tuesday was a bleak day for law enforcement indeed. An Arlington police officer and a State Department of Corrections officer both arrested for having materials involving child sexual abuse. It's a case so severe, Arlington's police chief spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
Kind of a gut punch for myself and all the members of the department, to be honest with you.
These cases are not believed to be related, and we're not naming anyone yet because no charges have been filed. In the case of the Arlington officer, his girlfriend saw him looking at these images.
I was crying, shaking, confused, pissed.
She spoke to KIRO 7, did not want to be named. She says she confronted him. There was an altercation, and she called 911, but he was not arrested.
He felt safe. He always has. He's behind a badge. Look at him.
She went digging and she found hard drives with at least 1,000 images. And armed with that, she went back to law enforcement. On Tuesday, a corrections officer was arrested as well in connection with an internet crimes against children investigation. That means likely a sting. He's accused of having exploitation material on his phone. And ICAC is the same organization that collected evidence on an Auburn officer who was arrested last week, accused of approaching a detective online who was posing as a 13-year-old girl.
Any sort of predator type of behavior, we will find you and we will make those arrests. We want our children to be safe, and if we have to arrest our own, then that's where we're at.
That's Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto, and I know this is hard to hear, but it's important to know that the justice system is working.
This comes as Pierce County Sheriff's detectives say one of their own deputies is now charged with felony harassment with threats to kill.
We get more on this from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The charges come following a domestic violence-related incident reported by a family member back in December. Investigators spent weeks interviewing those involved before the case was sent to prosecutors earlier this month. The deputy, Edgar Ruiz, hired in 2022, was taken off patrol back in January and is now facing termination. The sheriff's office calls the alleged conduct unacceptable and says it will not be tolerated. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A former Pierce County Jail corrections officer just got 10 days for drunkenly backing over his ex-girlfriend's head. The News Tribune reports 23-year-old Cameron Boucher pleaded guilty last month to vehicular assault DUI. Now, the standard sentence called for 3 to 9 months, but both sides recommended less, arguing the victim was a willing participant in the incident. Boucher was fired from the jail after his arrest back in January. He'll serve his time over 3 weekends.
Well, how does a $200 million bike and pedestrian bridge sound? That's the price tag for Bellevue's Grand Connection crossing over I-405. KOMO News reports the City Council just voted unanimously to help pay for it. In all, it's a 1.5-mile project, essentially running from Bellevue City Hall to just south of the Chick-fil-A on the other side of the freeway. Leaders approved a tax increment financing district that's expected to generate about $68 million over 25 years. The footbridge would connect downtown Bellevue with the Wilburton neighborhood. City leaders say it will expand light rail access and drive new redevelopment. The official cost estimate is between $175 and $230 million.
6:07 now. Welcome to Seattle's Morning News for Thursday, May 21st. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor. Sully is here. So, it could be $175. It could be $235 million.
By the time it's done, it could be $500.
They're trying to connect the Wilburton neighborhood. Light rail goes from that same exact spot at Bellevue City Hall to the Wilburton neighborhood.
Yeah, but that's light rail. You've got people who need to walk and bike over the freeway.
You've got bike access on Northeast 8th, and you have bike and pedestrian access on Northeast 4th.
Only $200
Why is this necessary?
million.
No, up to $230.
Oh.
Maybe. Why is this necessary?
Well, we should ask questions. It might be a really
reached
nice
out to
bridge.
the project manager to find out how the history, why they thought this was necessary.
Good job.
With all the redundancies that are already there.
Can't wait to hear what they say.
Seems awfully expensive since Linwood is just building a bridge over the freeway of I-5 for $70 million. with no taxing district.
I
Interesting.
I might have wound him up a little bit.
You did. Way to go. Right
I've
out
got
of
questions.
Right out of the box.
Producer David Burbank is here. Ian Douglas filling in for Nick today, picking all the tunes and running the board. Katrina is out at the news desk. Jillian Raftery in for Luke this morning.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Well, we hear a lot about the dangers of artificial intelligence, but there are some exciting developments, too. We're going to hear from Josh Tiringil, the author of AI for Good.
And Sully, you have a choke point. What's coming up?
Oh, yeah, we got a fish passage project. I know how much you love those. It's kind of out in a remote area, but the problem is it's going to create a huge problem for freight drivers, our truck drivers out there. We're talking a 28-mile detour. So I'll explain all that coming up here, in about 40 minutes.
Okay, it's 6:09. Your phone, if it went off yesterday afternoon, we're getting more details about the 4-year-old child at the center of an Amber Alert. This was out of Mason County, and the child has been found safe.
And KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker reports the boy's father is in custody.
We're trying to figure out charges, possibly a felony charge for eluding police officers, because initially we understand he did take off and leave the child behind. We have a potential assault charge going on as well.
State Patrol says 26-year-old Joshua Moen took off with his son during a supervised visit yesterday in Shelton.
The FBI is warning Seattle area families about an AI-powered virtual kidnapping scam. With the story, here's KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
The FBI says high-tech criminals are using AI voice cloning, altered photos, and manipulated proof-of-life videos gathered from social media to convince unsuspecting family members. And an immediate ransom payment is demanded. Here's FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Gerald Birkin.
These are very real, very believable, and very traumatic for the people that are involved.
Experts recommend coming up with a family code word, taking screenshots of any threats, and reporting suspected scams to the FBI's Internet Complaints website at ic3.gov. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The man burned in last week's massive trestle fire in Snohomish is now accused of starting it.
Investigators believe Michael Surlis intentionally set the fire that destroyed hundreds of feet of railroad trestle and sparked a large brush fire nearby.
That's KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas.
Northwest Trek Wildlife Park near Edenville has welcomed 2 American bison calves in less than a week. The first is a male named Torrent, born on Mother's Day weekend. The second calf arrived 5 days later. Both are healthy and sticking close to their moms in the park's 435-acre free-roaming area. Keepers say the calves are nursing regularly, getting stronger every day. You can spot them on the Discovery Tram Tour. Just look for the rusty orange coats among the bigger, darker adults.
As long as we're talking about animals, dogs can now take in the sea air on all Washington State ferry routes.
But yes, people are stoked when we did this in the trial, and we hope that people are even more stoked now. I know there are a little bit more restrictions in the trial, but as of right now, this is what we're calling no longer a trial, but permanent.
Justin Fujioka is with the State Ferry Service. He says last year's pilot program helped them create this year's rules. Pets allowed on the car deck and outside and in special pet areas inside, just not in galleries or on the seats.
And while Cal Raleigh is on the injury list, his replacement doing his best to fill the big dumper shoes. M's catcher Johnny Pareda launched his first MLB home run in yesterday's win against the White Sox.
The pitch. Swung on, ripped, left field, it's high, it's deep, it is gone! Johnny Pareda, his first Major League home run, and it's given the Mariners a 3-2 lead in the 7th inning.
So the Mariners get a much-needed day off today before heading off to Kansas City for a 3-game weekend series against the Royals.
It's 6:12. That's time for a check on the weather, and we bring in KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. How about mid-70s for a couple days, Nick?
Sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah, I have you at 74 today. You have beautiful sunshine, just a small amount of patchy fog to start the day. That's going to go away, no problem. And most of it really is in the far south sound or even just say north of Everett. I don't expect fog or really anything like that to be much of an issue. And then we're going to see mid-70s tomorrow. Expect to find just a tiny bit of fog or morning cloud cover, then sunshine. I think you will see more morning clouds on Saturday, but you still clear out for some low 70s this afternoon. Saturday afternoon rather, and it looks really, really nice. From there, I think we're going to see increasing high clouds on Sunday. Now, that eventually leads to a change, and by overnight Sunday into Monday, but especially during the morning Monday, I think that leads to some rain. So we go 74 today, 75 tomorrow, about 73 Saturday. Sunday is in the upper 60s. Still nice. Average this time of year is about, 68, depending on which city you're in. And we'll be right around there, but a lot of cloud cover. And then on, here we go, Memorial Day, it's going to be more like 58, 59. And I think you're going to find some rain. And especially in the morning, tapering off a little for the afternoon. But it could be even wet overnight, Sunday into Monday. So just be careful and be prepared. You got to have your tarps. You got to do all the stuff because rain's coming in and be a little blustery at times as well. And it's just not the nicest weather day.
Follow Nick's advice. Do all the stuff.
Do all the stuff. I mean, look, it took me 7 years to be able to say that professionally. But I can do it proudly now. So do all the stuff and things and stuff and
junk.
Things.
All right.
And such.
Yes.
Well, yeah, let's not go that far.
All right, Nick, appreciate it. Right now, it's partly cloudy and 53 in Seattle.
Time to get a check on traffic. Sully is watching the roads for us.
And we're not too bad as we start the day. We do have some building volumes coming down out of the north end. We are up over 40 minutes now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. There's some brake lights that go in out of Shoreline, and there are brake lights through Canyon Park on 405. Looking at the rest of the map, we've got a little bit of slowing through Nisqually on northbound I-5 from Olympia to Tacoma, but that drive is under 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle's under 40 as well. Valley Freeway, same deal. We have some off and on slowing out of the Auburn, a little bit at the north end. Renton to Bellevue is only about 17 minutes. The Lake Bridges are still in fine shape. Westbound 410's pretty heavy getting through Sumner today. That just appears to be volume. You're backed up from Valley Ave all the way over to 167. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more, globalcu.org.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Well, you've no doubt heard the different opinions on AI right now. Some people think it's going to save us. Others think it could be the end of the world.
Well, journalist Josh Terangel says the most important AI revolution is not happening in Silicon Valley boardrooms or doomsday think tanks. You know him for a number of things. He was previously the deputy managing editor of Time. Again, the resume is long. He's out with a new book called AI for Good, and Josh is with us right now. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Josh, what got you interested in writing this book?
I was reporting on AI just after ChatGPT came out, and for a couple of weeks, I was having the best time because it's just, rivalries and money and technology, and everybody in AI knows each other and kind of hates each other, all of which can, sustain you for a couple of weeks. And then I kept running into this very basic question, which is, hey, what's this good for? Like, what's actually going to happen that's going to change people's lives? And as you guys mentioned, there are sort of two stock answers. One is it's going to cure cancer. And then the other is it may rob humanity of all of its existence. And I sort of thought, I bet you there's something in between.
Yeah.
So lots of people are freaked out by AI. I'm a woman of a certain age. I used to embrace technology, but it's hard to wrap your head around it. So tell me what it's good for.
Yeah, so I really set out not knowing. And what I discovered is that there's a bunch of people who are not in tech companies, in healthcare, in education, in government, who are using it in a sort of evolutionary way to fix problems. So, I went to Cleveland Clinic, which is one of the three best healthcare systems in America. And what I discovered is that, first of all, they made a very important distinction. They said, this is too important for technologists. Our doctors are going to be in charge of how we use AI. And piece by piece, they found ways to really improve healthcare. So one is just sepsis, which is about the worst thing that can happen inside a human body. It's a sort of response to an infection that in fact creates inflammation and all of these terrible things, and kills about 350,000 Americans per year. And they said, it is unconscionable that there are a couple thousand people a year dying in our care of sepsis. So first, they talked to doctors across the system and said, we're going to try and reduce it. And then they brought in this sepsis prediction software, and it is AI, but it's run by doctors. And all the AI does is when it detects through all of the signals that a human being can give out that sepsis might be present, it alerts the doctors and it reminds them to check for it. Because if you catch sepsis early enough, it's treated with an antibiotic and nothing really happens. And so doing that over the course of a year, and again, I'm summarizing, but over the course of a year, they reduced mortality in the hospital by 41%. And the CEO of the clinic was like, look, AI is not perfect, but we saved 1,000 lives. That seems pretty good. So that's just one example. I mean, in education, what I saw is, there's a lot of technology that's been brought into the classroom over the years. And most of the time, teachers are kind of over it because all of this tech overpromises what it's going to do. Oh, it's going to engage students. It's going to make teachers' lives easier. And most of the time, what it does is get the people who make ed tech software much richer. And then a couple months or years later, they rip it out because it doesn't work. And so I chronicled this sort of collaboration between Khan Academy, which is a very well-known nonprofit, and OpenAI, which is a very well-known now profit. And what they tried to do is make an AI tutor that could mimic Sal Khan. And that sounds easy, but it's actually a lot harder than you think because you go to GPT for answers, right? It's trained as an assistant, not a tutor. And so I sort of wrote about how hard it is to actually make AI do something different than just be your assistant. And then on top of it, what happens when it hits a classroom, I think what everybody was surprised by is that kids were kind of like, yeah, it's fine. Like it's one more thing on my laptop that is opened up and I have to use. But teachers, specifically these like really great career teachers, discovered that all the teaching tools in Khan Academy can actually revolutionize the way they talk to kids. Because instead of a lecture, you can go into the tool and say, I want a lab. I want to figure out how to take this thing that I've been lecturing about for 20 years and that kids may begin to tune out. Let's make it active. I want you, Khan Migo is the name of the bot, to alert the kids to talk to me as soon as they get stuck, as soon as there's a problem. And what I witnessed in these classrooms, specifically in Indiana, but in other places as well, is it was a really useful tool for teaching and grabbing engagement and making kids more social and changing learning. So there is a lot of potential out there. None of it's easy, but there's a ton of potential.
I'm glad you brought up education because I just saw a little blurb of a commencement speech and AI came up and they actually booed the commencement speaker, which kind of surprised me because the younger set is always first to embrace the new technology. What's going on there?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. I think if you've been paying attention the last 20 years, you've seen a lot of the companies that brought us social media, and some of those are delivering AI as well, overpromise what it's going to do, take money, take attention, and not really care about society. And so these kids are skeptical and for very good reason. And I think that skepticism is going to serve them well because, the whole point of this book is that there are great uses, but we're going to have to demand that the companies deliver these uses the way we want them. We're going to have to get involved because if not, we're just going to sit downstream of whatever they give us, whatever's most profitable, and we're going to suffer for it. So I actually think it's a huge positive that young kids are very skeptical of AI and that they're going to, I hope, insist that it be used in ways that help them enrich their lives, make their lives more meaningful. But I would be very concerned if they were, sort of clapping, cheering it on, like, this is going to take skepticism and involvement and real passion if we want it to work the way we want it to work.
Josh, you've been reporting on this for quite a long time now. What's your sense of where things are headed, even in the next 6 months, year?
So the technology, and I think it's really important to separate the tech from the companies. The technology is getting better. And there was a period of time when AI first sort of came out onto the market where everyone sort of assumed the pace of improvement would slow down. It is not slowing down.
Oh, no.
In some ways, it's speeding up. And so that means that we only have so much time in which we can mold it. And I think that's why it's really urgent to get involved and to use the tools. And I can give you guys lots of easy ways to understand how they might change your life and not be afraid of them. And I think you have to get involved in it. Because pretty soon this stuff will be so powerful that it will be dictated to us, and we do not want that to happen.
All right, Josh, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Josh Tarangel. The book is AI for Good. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Time now to check in with Sully for traffic on the 3s.
And I'm hunting for a crash in Kirkland on southbound 405, right around 85th there. Starting to see things back up pretty significantly. Not sure which lane it's in. This just popped up. So if you're heading south of the 522 interchange, know you're going to come to a quick all stop heading into 85th. More for you on this on 10, but that's why our travel time has jumped up to about 50 minutes already from Everett into Bellevue. We have a 42-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, though we do have brake lights getting into and through the Forest Merge in Northgate. Northbound I-5, not too bad from Federal Way up to Seattle, a little over 40 minutes. We do have significant braking now down the hill into Nisqually through the Weaving and Merging. Give yourself 40 minutes to get up to Tacoma. Eastbound 512, a little slow through Puyallup, a little westbound slowing on 410 through Sumner. Rented to Bellevue, we've got about a 20-minute trip for you now. Lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast today, it's going to be really nice for the next several days. 74 today, 75 in the sunshine tomorrow. Saturday, we'll see a few clouds roll in, so a little bit cooler, 73. Sunday, building clouds throughout the day, and then some rain expected on Memorial Day. Only 59 on Monday. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 53.
Well, I don't know if he'll be punching a time clock, but former Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell has a new job. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery will tell us about that coming up.
And we'll get to your opening bell report, too, here on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Well, if you ever had one of those mornings where you're already behind, you couldn't find what you need, your closet is a mess, your pantry, you can't find any food in it, your garage, you have to step over things, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that a lot of homes weren't set up to work the way we actually live. And that's where Closets by Design comes in, because they don't do just closets, they do your garage, your pantry. You could actually use it. Laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mud rooms, everything. All custom built, designed for your home and your routines. Nothing is off a shelf. Nothing is pre-made. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother. Less clutter, less frustration. Everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Here's what you need to do. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
Spring is the perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of zero down, zero payments, and zero interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. And Bob, just like me, you had a hip problem. You were recommended surgery. Why did you go see Dr. Wagner first?
I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff.
So you had stem cell on your hip. How does it feel now?
I can do a lot of things I could not do prior to this procedure, and I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now. And I've had friends that have gone to see Dr. Wagner. They had the same experience, whether they were dealing with a hip, a knee, an elbow, a shoulder. Everybody walking out of there feels like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Before you choose surgery, do what Bob and I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
My name is Skip, and Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland helped me with my small business administration loan. With her help, I was able to keep my small business open, and she can help you too. Please contact Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland's office at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov for help. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Washington. Start treatment and get a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. Check testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, and more. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code QUICK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code QUICK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code QUICK to borrow up to $10,000.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. Seattle's former mayor has a new job, startup CEO.
And with the update, here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Bruce Harrell, lawyer, politician, and sustainable fashion leader. He's now joined Philium. It's a Seattle-based startup formerly known as Ably that was launched back in 2016 with a Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign.
Philium Corp is a material science company that works with clients in the textile space who want a high-performance, eco-friendly solution for natural fabrics.
They've developed technology that allows them to make stain-resistant shirts. It supposedly needs less washing, can last longer, keeping clothing working and out of landfills. When Harrell conceded the race to Mayor Katie Wilson last fall, he promised he'd stick around.
We will still be here serving you because you mean that much to us, and we love all of you that have taken this journey with us.
It's a really interesting next phase for him. Harrell started his career as an attorney for a company that became Lumen, but he's worked in politics for so many years. Most people only know him from that. I think he's only had 2 breaks from politics.
Fashion icon.
Fashion icon.
Okay, thank you, Jillian. It's now 6:31. An Arlington police officer was arrested. He's accused of having more than 1,000 files of child sex abuse materials.
Prosecutors say his own girlfriend turned him in, and KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu spoke with her.
I was crying, shaking, confused, pissed.
She says she saw the officer looking at child porn last week, but when she called him out on it, he shoved her. She called 911, but the officer was not arrested. Days later, she says she snuck a look at the hard drives and handed the evidence over to Island County Sheriff's deputies. That prompted an arrest.
Kind of a gut punch for myself and all the members of the department, to be honest with you.
Chief Jonathan Ventura of the Arlington Police Department says that officer is now on leave.
Prosecutors expect to have a charging decision by tomorrow.
The man burned in last week's massive trestle fire in Snohomish is now accused of starting it. Here's KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas.
Investigators believe Michael Surlis intentionally set the fire that destroyed hundreds of feet of railroad trestle and sparked a large brush fire nearby.
A Spokane County woman accused of trying to run down a child on a dirt bike pleaded not guilty yesterday.
He's trying to run. Oh my God.
Deputies say she drove onto a sidewalk in Cheney last month. KIRO 7 TV reports 56-year-old Wendy Clemente is charged with attempted first-degree assault and DUI. Her next court date is August 10th.
A couple in Portland says a tiny home parked next door has made their lives miserable. The Oregonian reports Trudy and John Benjamin have filed a $250,000 lawsuit over what they say is a chemical toilet inside the small home on wheels. They say raw sewage has overflowed, been poured on the ground. Toxic gases from chemicals meant to cover the smell have made things even worse. Couples say they wear gas masks with carbon filters just to walk from their car to their front door. John Benjamin once collapsed, apparently, from the fumes, needed knee surgery. A doctor has recommended they move out of the home they once considered a slice of urban paradise. They've lived there for more than 40 years.
It's 6:33. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. What do you have for us, Sully?
Well, I got a bunch of gratitude and pats on the back for all my KIRO listeners that were out there, Sully's Army, doing their job, cluing me in to what's happening on southbound 405, right at 85th in Kirkland. Looks like a giant semi-flatbed carrying sheetrock or drywall with a trailer attached carrying sheetrock and drywall is stalled in the right-hand lane, and the trailer somehow became detached.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, it did not flip and drop its drywall and sheetrock all over the freeway. But the bottom line is we have this rather large stall blocking the right lane right there at 85th. And that's what's caused about a 2.5 to 3 mile backup already coming down out of Totem Lake, and why you're probably going to need an hour already from Everett down into Bellevue. And all of that is really just south of 522. So keep the pictures coming, keep the information coming. I cannot do this without you guys. It helps kind of spread the word and make it easier to let everybody know what you're dealing with. Southbound I-5, much better, though it is really heavy inside of 145th. You're going to need about 45 minutes to go from Everett down into Seattle. Rented to Bellevue, the S-curves are active early today, up past SR 900, 25 to 28 minutes there. Valley Freeway, 45, Federal Way to Seattle, under 45. About 40 to 42 from Olympia to Tacoma. Some brake lights through Lacey, down through Nisqually, but after that, it's not too bad. Westbound 410 is really heavy today from before Valley Ave, almost from the Winco all the way down to 167. That appears to just be volume, but I'll be checking into that. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Well, looking at the forecast, a lovely day. Let's say, I don't know, you're going to a middle school baseball game.
Oh, I bet you're doing that.
Oh, funny you mentioned that.
It'll be lovely.
74, mostly sunny today, 75 tomorrow, 73 on Saturday. Start to get more clouds on Sunday, and Monday looks like rain will make an appearance for Memorial Day. Right now in Seattle, it's 51.
It's 6:35.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. Demand for the semiconductors that power artificial intelligence is only growing stronger. NVIDIA smashed Wall Street's expectations, earning just over $58 billion in the latest quarter, nearly 3 times the number of a year ago. That earnings report helped to pull the tech-intensive NASDAQ composite and the broader S&P higher Wednesday. The Standard & Poor's added 1%, the NASDAQ 1.5%. The Dow Jones soared 645 points to close back above 50,000. AI may be a path to a new job at one of the biggest banks in the world. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon tells Bloomberg the bank will likely be hiring more AI specialists and fewer traditional bankers in the future. On the cusp of Memorial Day weekend, many Americans are making their escape today. Even in the face of sky-high gas prices, a record-breaking 45 million are expected to travel more than 50 miles for the holiday, over 39 million by car. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
You know, a lot of people might have been asking, hey, what are you guys doing once CBS News Radio shuts down tomorrow?
There's your answer.
There's your answer. ABC News. Okay, the number of people applying for state jobless benefits was little changed in the week that just ended. Labor Department's weekly report for unemployment filings found 209,000 people submitting their initial applications in the week leading up to May 16th. That is 3,000 fewer than the week before. All told, about 7.4 million Americans are collecting unemployment.
Washington's unemployment rate ticked up again in April. Data from the Employment Security Department shows it rose to 5.2% from 5.1% in March. The state lost an estimated 4,500 jobs last month, the fourth straight month of job losses.
Average price for a gallon of gas now above $4 in all 50 states as the cost of oil rises due to war with Iran. News Nation's Alicia Neves reports President Trump has said the high gas prices being paid by Americans, these are the president's words, those high gas prices are peanuts, and he expects a deal to be worked out soon.
National average is $4.56, but compared to a year ago, these prices are eye-watering. We saw $3.18 this time last year. The president, of course, and the White House acknowledging these higher prices at the pump, but say, even though it's going to be a topic of conversation and painful for some Americans, it's the price you pay for avoiding Iran from having nuclear weapons, and that this is going to be short-term, according to the White House.
And Manda, I just checked the AAA average price for gas in King County.
Is it above $4?
$6.05 a gallon.
All right. If you own an electric vehicle, you could soon be paying more to drive it. A new bipartisan bill in Congress would add a $130 annual federal fee for EVs, $35 for plug-in hybrids. Washington Congressman Rick Larson is the ranking Democrat on the House Transportation Committee.
It's based on the user pay principle that if you use the roads, you pay into the trust fund in order to do repairs on the roads. That's what the gas tax is about. That's what this fee is about.
EV groups are pushing back, saying the fee tops what most gas drivers pay in federal fuel taxes. The House committee takes up that bill today.
Meta is slashing its global workforce. The company says it is shifting money and staff toward artificial intelligence. Meta began laying off 8,000 employees yesterday, about 10% of its workforce. Another 7,000 workers will be reassigned to new AI-related teams. Hugh Langley covers tech news as a senior correspondent for Business Insider, says this comes despite the company doing well.
Spending extraordinary amounts of money to build out the infrastructure to support AI. And in the note to employees this week, laid off staff were told this is happening because we have to offset these other investments.
And checking Wall Street this morning, just getting underway for the day, and the Dow is down 274 points at 49,735. S&P 500 down about 35, and the NASDAQ down 133.
We're here for KIRO 7. It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up. They ask hard questions. They get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
It's 6:39. Sully, what do you have for us in traffic?
Well, we're going to talk about the 4-mile backup we have on southbound 405 getting into Kirkland. We'll talk about it next.
The G and Ursula Show.
Prices in the Seattle area jumped nearly 5% in April.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Well above the national inflation rate of 3.8%. So, in other words, we're paying more than much of the rest of America is right now.
It feels like a treadmill that continues to get faster and faster and faster, but somebody keeps speeding it up and increasing the incline.
G and Ursula. Watch live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
The Kendall Memorial Day sales event is on now at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville.
Get in on the Memorial Day deals with special APR offers and some fantastic new lease offers on new Chevy trucks and SUVs. Shop a great selection of Silverado trucks and take advantage of special 2.9% APR for up to 72 months. Now available on all new 2026 Silverado 1500 models. It's also Chevrolet Military Appreciation Month. Qualifying active duty military and veterans can receive an additional $2,000 off MSRP on all new 2026 Chevy models. Chevy, together let's drive. Kick off summer with incredible Memorial Day savings. But don't wait. These deals end Sunday the 31st. Stop by Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville today. Kendall, let's start something great.
2.9% APR for up to 72 months with $1,475 for every $1,000 borrowed. 0 down, all financing and approved credit. Prices listed do not include taxes, title, or license. Subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 6/126.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. $4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
6:43 now. Chris Sullivan has traffic on the 3s for us.
And we have got about a 4-mile backup now getting through Totem Lake down into Kirkland. Right lane remains blocked for a disabled double flatbed trailer that is carrying sheetrock or drywall over on the right-hand side. The trailer is detached for some reason. Fortunately, the load didn't spill, but we, again, have a 4-mile backup getting in there, plus the normal stuff in Canyon Park. I'd probably say it's about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett down into Bellevue right now, about a 25-minute delay through that corridor. You compare that to the 45 to 50 minutes you're getting from Everett to Seattle, and you can see the difference. Until they get this thing moved, it's going to be a while. So you might want to consider, if you're coming down from Linwood, to bail and get to I-5 and just take a lake bridge over. Both of the lake bridges are in very good shape. Federal Way to Seattle, no problems for you guys, about 45 minutes, a little over 45 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's back under a half an hour. Westbound 410 continues to struggle. Coming out of Bonnie Lake down through the Sumner area, we're backed up from Winco all the way through Valley Ave. I just ran the cameras. All I could see is volume along the corridor there, so that's unusual. Also seeing some eastbound slowing on 512 down into Puyallup. Olympia to Tacoma, a little over 40 minutes, and as I said, the lake bridges are fine. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, it's going to be a really nice day. Tomorrow, too, we're going to see highs in the mid-70s in the sunshine. Saturday, partly cloudy and 73, building clouds on Sunday, and unfortunately, we're likely going to see some rain on Memorial Day. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 53.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in your choke point?
Okay, we're going to take a look at a fish passage project that's kind of out there, but it's going to have a major impact on freight in the region. We'll break it down next.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Let's go.
6:48 now. Truck drivers will face a 28-mile detour as a fish passage project shuts down Highway 3 south of Gorst for 2 weeks.
That doesn't sound fun. Sully is here to tell us all about it.
Now, I know this is a little out there for a lot of our community. In fact, yesterday, Charlie, when I asked you, what do you describe this place on the map? And you really couldn't. Because it's kind of that whole unincorporated area there that goes down toward the Key Peninsula. But it's basically the cut through for Bremerton through Gorst down to Belfair, and then maybe if you wanted to continue all the way down through Shelton. So it's used pretty heavily, but it's just, it's just out there a little bit. And the reason that why we're focusing on this is because SR3 is going to be closed for 16 straight days, starting on coming up later on the 13th of June. And so that's coming up pretty quickly because they're replacing the fish culvert at Gorst Creek. Drivers on southbound SR3, that is, will be detoured to Sunny Slope Road. So this is just kind of right around Sunny Slope, if you know the area at all. Northbound SR3 will be detoured to Southwest Lake Flora Road. That is a 7-mile detour for just drivers. And I have a map up at mynorthwest.com to get a better handle on exactly what we're dealing with. The Washington Department of Transportation's Angela Cochran says local access, though, will still be available.
They're going to dig out the highway, so that entire section of highway will be removed, so nobody can get through there. But you can get up to the closure point to get to businesses.
But truck drivers will face, as you mentioned, a 28-mile backup to get around this closure. WashDOT's Cochran says it's really best to keep those big rigs on the bigger roads in the region.
The truck route is through State Route 302 and State Route 16. It is a long detour, but it is the best detour for the truck.
And even if you're not a truck, drivers in general should expect delays around that entire area, which again is just north of the Key Peninsula.
People who use those routes will want to plan some extra time just to make sure, during busy travel times that they can get to their destination on time.
The contractor had to wait until this time of year to fix the culvert. It's not something they could do earlier in the year because Gorst Creek actually runs dry over the summer. So now is the best time to actually get in there and install it without actually impacting the fish migration. The project, though, does have some weather-dependent components which could impact the timeline.
Construction is very complex. Schedules can change. And so if something crazy happens with the weather, that is going to be something that could affect the schedule. We do have to have dry conditions for this work.
Again, the closure is set to begin at 7 a.m. Saturday, June 13th, and last through 7 a.m. Monday, June 29th. So basically the whole second half of next month. So I know we're a little ahead of schedule, telling you about it, but I don't want you to get caught off guard. Or if you're a truck driver that has some deliveries down there, or a contractor building a house down or doing something down there, big time detours coming up next month.
28 miles. That's something for truckers.
If you look at the map there, they're sending them all the way down to the south end to get them onto 302, go all the way up through the Purdy Spit and all the way up to 16 and around to get back up to the Sinclair Inlet and Gorst.
It's a good reminder, too, that you can always send in your requests for Sully for choke points at the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. We had somebody just reach out wanting you to check in stuff in North Seattle just now, 130th and 145th. This is something that choke points is meant to do.
Well, this is really what choke points was designed to do. When I first took over the transportation department from being a general assignment reporter, was it 10 or so years ago, basically, when I realized that our traffic was impacted by the decisions of the Coast Guard, I realized we got problems. We got things.
Yeah.
So I'm here. Whether you have a question about why whether you want to install a stoplight in your neighborhood or you think people are speeding too fast. I once had a guy up in the Everett area in the Lowell neighborhood said he was hoping to get one of those radar guns from the police so he could go out there and track them and let them know we need to slow the speed down here. And lo and behold, we did a story on that. We got a lower speed on that street that people were screaming through. So yeah, it doesn't have to be as big as Sound Transit wasting money or the state budget or why they're building a pedestrian bridge over 405 in Bellevue. It can be something really simple or rules of the road. I'm here to answer every question that you guys have as it relates to transportation in any way.
You know why? Because you are our conduit.
Yes, I am, and I'm glad to do it.
You always get answers. Everyone appreciates
I do. And that's the thing. There's nothing more personal to each and every one of us than our drive.
Yeah.
That's why in some cases we drive so selfishly. But yeah, so I'm here to help, and I'll take any question, big or small. There's no dumb question, insignificant question. I'll try to find the answer for you.
By the way, we have a shortcut to your My Northwest archive, right? You just go to chokepoints.com.
I think that still exists. If not, it's mynorthwest.com/chokepoints.
Yeah.
/chokepoints. If anybody still talks like that anymore. With www, by the way, on the front. HTTPS, because we're a secure network.
Yeah, boy.
///www. Yeah, it's still a thing. Right?
Chokepoints.com does work. I just tested it.
Awesome.
All
I should know.
Well, let's get a check on what's happening in traffic right now.
And we do have a choke point going on southbound 405, right at 85th and Kirkland. We have a big rig that was carrying a trailer. It's got a full load of sheetrock or drywall all wrapped up there, and it lost a trailer. It didn't flip, fortunately. Everything's on their tires, but the right lane is blocked. We have a 4-mile backup coming down from before Totem Lake. Also have the heavy stuff in Canyon Park. I'd give myself about 90 minutes to go from Everett into Bellevue at this point. That's probably 25 or 30 minutes slower than you anticipated. You look at I-5, and it's running at 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle. You can see this disparity there. That's a 40-minute difference. You might want to consider going with I-5 if you're coming down from Linwood. Have that choice, and then catch a lake bridge over. Rest of the map for a Thursday, not terrible. We're looking at Puyallup to Renton under 50, Renton to Bellevue under a half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle about 45. Olympia to Tacoma does have some pretty steady braking going up through DuPont, but overall 42 minutes up to Tacoma. We're starting to ease off on westbound 410. I think it was just a heavy day coming down out of Bonnie Lake through Sumner to get over to 167. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss 8 fireworks nights this season. Presented by T-Mobile. Get the first show May 29th. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
Our forecast mostly sunny today and tomorrow. Mid-70s. Will cool off a little bit Saturday as some clouds roll in. Sunday, building clouds and some rain by Memorial Day. It's 53 right now.
Well, as you may know, CBS News Radio is shutting down tomorrow after 99 years. We're going to talk to the guy who ran it for a very long time, Craig Swagler. He's going to join us at 7:15.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Parango and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on brakes?
We mark Duralast brake pads down to free.
Free Duralast brake pads?
When you buy 2 rotors.
Can I get Duralast Gold pads for free?
With 2 Duralast Gold rotors, and there's a lifetime warranty on brake pads.
That's a huge markdown for so many miles.
Save on brakes and more during Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is happening right now. The cost of living has gone up, but when buying a car, it doesn't have to feel like it. Zero down delivers, no payments all summer, and exclusive 10-day deals in partnership with Tapco Credit Union. With a wide selection of new vehicles and over 400 used vehicles across 5 dealerships, you'll find just what you're looking for. Visit Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup or Kia and Chevy of Everett. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Offers available OAC on select models. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions. D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Passengers like this woman from Michigan say she and others were left in the dark when their flight from Paris to Detroit made an unscheduled stop in Canada last night.
No one told us what was actually happening, just that U.S. authorities were diverting us to Montreal.
Air France says the plane was denied entry into the U.S. because one passenger was from an Ebola outbreak zone. CBS's Usher Qureshi is at the airport in Detroit.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection says Air France allowed a passenger from the Democratic Republic of Congo to board in error, violating new entry restrictions designed to keep a deadly strain of Ebola from entering the U.S. It's unclear when the person was last in the Congo or if they were showing any symptoms.
The flight flew on to Detroit after that passenger was escorted off the plane in Montreal. Pakistan's army chief has been scheduled to arrive in Iran today as Tehran examines a new U.S. peace proposal. CBS's Aaron Navarro.
The Pakistani military official that is meeting with them is supposed to be carrying a new message from the United States. One sticking point between both sides heading into today was the extraction of Iran's processed uranium and potentially sending that to a third-party country.
Yesterday, President Trump warned negotiations with Iran were on the borderline. Wildfire season is off to an early start in Southern California. More than 26,000 acres have burned this week, forcing tens of thousands of evacuations. Correspondent Matt Gutman is in Simi Valley.
A series of relentless wildfires fueled by powerful winds and dry conditions are menacing communities across Southern California. 10 active wildfires have torched tens of thousands of acres, sending families fleeing. With over 1,000 firefighters activated across the state, crews are tired and resources stretched.
Money's tight. Drivers are lining up for cheaper gas and food at Walmart. The company is reporting solid sales growth and profits in the first quarter. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
What this tells us is that consumers are still spending, but they're a little bit pickier. According to Walmart, they saw sales grow for grocery and general merchandise. That would include clothing and home goods.
High gas and airline prices keeping you home this holiday weekend. A tip from Julian Keel of flight search engine PointsPath.
If you really want to get the most bang for your buck, look at Europe, look at places like that, and also, look at late summer travel. That's a good choice as well.
Americans are expected to break another travel record this Memorial Day break. The average price for a gallon of regular gas today, $4.56. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
7:03 now. We check traffic on the threes with Sully.
Avoid 405 southbound if you can. If you have the opportunity coming down from Linwood, go to I-5 and don't look back. We have a 9-mile backup now on southbound 405 approaching Kirkland because of this stalled big rig with a trailer that's carrying drywall or sheetrock. It's stalled, blocking the right-hand lane, and we are bumper to bumper from Canyon Park all the way down to 85th. And we're looking at about an hour and 45 minutes to go from Everett down into Bellevue. That is a 40 to 45-minute delay. You look at the I-5 corridor, and it's only running 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle. So there's some room there, but the window will be closing. But if you got a chance, bail. Looking at the rest of the map, we've got about kind of an average Thursday, 45 to 50, Puyallup to Renton, depending on how you hit the volume at the north end. A little heavier getting into 405 than it is in Auburn. Renton to Bellevue's under a half an hour. We're under 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, probably closer to 45. There are brake lights over the top of Tiger Mountain on eastbound 18, but nothing unusual. Looks kind of average there as well. Olympia to Tacoma, 42 minutes there with some off and on braking here and there, but nothing super significant. This report brought to you by the Harnish Auto family. The super sales going on now through May 31st. Exclusive deals, 0 down and no payments all summer on approved credit in Puyallup and Everett. Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning at 7:04. 2 local law enforcement officers were arrested yesterday, caught with child sexual exploitation material.
A third was arrested in an online sting targeting predators last week, and we get more live from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
And I think the reaction of the girlfriend who turned in the Arlington police officer sums up all of our feelings about this.
I was crying, shaking, confused, pissed.
The officer in question is an 8-year veteran of the force, a military veteran and former officer of the year. Chief Jonathan Ventura spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
People are unpredictable, and sometimes you don't know what's going on in the private life.
He said the girlfriend, who did not want to be named, did the right thing. She says she saw the officer looking at the images in their home, confronted him, and called 911. The officer was not arrested that day, but she went hunting through their home in Camino Island and found 2 hard drives full of these images. Also yesterday, in a separate case, a State Department of Corrections officer was arrested. Investigators say he had images of child sexual exploitation on his phone. And there was a third case from last week where an Auburn police officer was arrested in an online sting. In that case, Deputy Carly Capetto with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office says he reached out to a detective posing as a 13-year-old.
This is our detectives doing proactive work.
We are still waiting on formal charges for all 3 cases, but the woman who turned in her boyfriend has a message for Arlington police.
They need to not have a soft spot for their own.
And we'll bring you more details as we get them.
Jillian Raftery reporting live. It's 7:06.
Pierce County Sheriff's detectives say one of their own deputies is now charged with felony harassment with threats to kill.
Here's KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch with more.
The charges come following a domestic violence-related incident reported by a family member back in December. Investigators spent weeks interviewing those involved before the case was sent to prosecutors earlier this month. The deputy, Edgar Ruiz, hired in 2022, was taken off patrol back in January and is now facing termination. Deputy Carly Capetto with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office.
We respond to domestic violence calls on a regular basis. Our deputies know better and are held to a high standard.
The Sheriff's Office calls the alleged conduct unacceptable and says it will not be tolerated. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
People living along Seattle's Aurora Avenue say they're fed up with the crime. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas reports they are demanding action.
They released a joint statement to Mayor Katie Wilson, council members, and Seattle police, calling the situation a public safety failure unfolding in real time. They say in part, quote, the continued lack of urgency communicates a devastating message that the safety of Aurora residents is acceptable collateral damage.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Well, here we are, Thursday, May 21st.
Look at that sunshine, would you?
Yeah, I was driving. I looked at the clock. It was 3:56 this morning.
And getting bright.
Yeah, there was just that, hint of dawn in front of us.
My favorite time of day.
Yeah, it really is, especially this time of year. Well, that's Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. Sully is here, keeping an eye on the roads, and you do not want to be on southbound 405.
No, you don't. No. Anytime you've got a semi conked out and blocking a lane, I mean, it's a flatbed, but
yeah.
You get the idea. It's a long stall. Yeah, it's ugly out there already.
All right. We have Ian Douglas filling in for Nick Cretia, picking all the music. Katrina Gashard at the KIRO Radio News Desk. Jillian Raftery is in for Luke Ducey this morning. And you might notice we're doing a little something different with the network pieces we're playing this morning.
Because as you know, we are bidding farewell to CBS Radio this week. Tomorrow will be the final ever broadcast from the nearly century-old institution.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the long legacy of the network. CBS's Craig Swagler ran it for many, many years, and he's going to join us live at 7:15.
What's coming up in the 7:35 commentary?
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson shutting down one system in the city that could mean violent criminals can evade law enforcement. I'll explain coming up at 7:35.
It's 7:09. The CEO of the Humane Society of Tacoma in Pierce County is out. The move comes 2 weeks after a dog in their care killed another dog at the Tacoma City Marathon.
Not yet clear if Leslie Dalzell was fired or stepped down. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
All we got from them was a statement that read in part, quote, that they were announcing the departure of Chief Executive Officer Leslie Dalzell. Here's more of the statement we got from them that reads in part, the board will now assume leadership responsibilities for operations and services.
Humane Society says it's bringing in a national firm to help find the next CEO.
Arraignment was postponed yesterday for the man accused of fatally stabbing a University of Washington student more than 40 times. 31-year-old Christopher Leahy is charged with first-degree murder for the killing of Juniper Blessing in the laundry room at the Nordheim Court Apartments. Attorneys representing Leahy asked for a continuance or a delay in the proceedings so concerns over his mental health and competency can be addressed. The judge found good cause and granted that request. Leahy will be back in court June 4th.
The man hurt in a massive fire on abandoned train tracks in Snohomish is now suspected of arson. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
Investigators believe Michael Searles intentionally set that fire that destroyed hundreds of feet of railroad trestle and sparked a large brush fire nearby. Searles was found crawling along the tracks with burns to his hands and feet. According to court documents, he told deputies he woke up surrounded by flames after smoking meth. But investigators say his burns were more consistent with someone who started the fire, and they've now charged him with arson.
U.S. House lawmakers are considering a new annual fee for electric vehicle owners. A bipartisan bill would charge them $130 a year to go toward funding highway repairs. Washington Congressman Rick Larson, the ranking Democrat on the House Transportation Committee, says it comes down to fairness.
They're paying $0 into the Federal Highway Trust Fund right now, and kind of, getting away with it.
Plug-in hybrid owners would pay $35 under the bill. EV groups argue the proposed fee is more than what the average gas driver pays in federal fuel taxes. The Transportation Committee takes up that bill today.
A bike and pedestrian bridge and trail in Bellevue is set to cost more than $200 million. KOMO News reports the city council unanimously voted to create a special financing district to help cover the massive price tag for the Grand Connection crossing. All told, it's a 1.5-mile project, essentially stretching from Bellevue City Hall to just south of the Chick-fil-A across the freeway. The bridge would span 405, linking downtown Bellevue to the Wilburton neighborhood. Plans call for a vehicle-free crossing at least 30 feet wide with separate lanes for walking and rolling. The official cost estimate is between $175 and $230 million for a 1.5-mile project. The financing district expected to chip in about $68 million over 25 years.
Well, the Mariners held on yesterday for a big series win against the Chicago White Sox. After a tough day on Tuesday, Seattle's bats woke up yesterday.
Here's the offer to Randy. Swung on, drilled, left center field. This has a chance. It's on its way. It is into the pen. Goodbye, Randy Arozarena. 2-run home run. The Mariners lead 5-2.
Mariners went on to win 5-4. They have the day off before heading to Kansas City to take on the Royals over the weekend. You can catch every pitch on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
It's 7:12 now. Let's get a check on weather. We check in with KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard with a start of a beautiful day today, Nick.
Really is. I mean, just the only thing I'll add is that you will see a little more cloud cover this afternoon compared to now, but it's just for a few hours as this weak band of clouds will push through. It won't do anything besides just add a little more cloud cover at times, but you're going to be in the mid-70s, about 74 in Seattle, about 70 in Seattle, or Everett rather. 70 in Seattle and 74 in Seattle. That doesn't really help. About 74 here, about 70 in Everett, and about 78 in Olympia. See, that wasn't that hard. Tomorrow, I expect to be in the mid-70s again, and then on Saturday, we're going to wake up to a lot of cloud cover and then some sunshine, but for the first half of the day, it does look cloudy. We'll still be at about 73. Sunday, we're going to see increasing high clouds, which means you're going to have filtered sunshine and just nowhere near as much of it. And then on Monday, it looks cool and breezy at times and wet and highs barely making it to 60. So I want you to plan on having some rain overnight Sunday, even though I do think the majority of it comes in during the morning on Monday. But still, if you plan for it, I'd rather you have that and it doesn't rain versus not, and then it rains and, yeah, good times.
Well, good times indeed anytime we speak with Nick Allard.
Oh, man. Wow.
Right.
I like that.
Right now, it's sunny and 53.
Right now, we're speaking with Chris Sullivan. Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes.
And I need to lean on my drivers again. If Sully's Army, I need you. On the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Voice to text. Don't you text yourself. Have your passenger do it, or let me know when you get where you're going, because the backup has disappeared on southbound 405 at 85th and Kirkland. WashDOT's cameras are not working there because of the construction zone. I need to know if the semi is still blocking the right-hand lane, because all my indications tell me no, but I don't have confirmation from the state. Either way, the travel time has come back down to about an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, with an hour of that from Linwood. So we are getting better south of 522 down through Kirkland. All my indications are it's out of the way, or at least no longer blocking. But again, I could use my eyes out there. Looking at the Everett to Seattle drive of about 50 minutes, so it's still running significantly faster than 405. Rest of the map, not bad. Puyallup to Renton, we're running at about 45 to 50 minutes. If you are getting off at, say, 15th Southwest before 18, watch out. There's a car that flipped and is in the ditch. It's on its side. It's on the ramp, not on the freeway itself, but there is a little slowing around it. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 minutes. Behind that, Olympia to Tacoma is only about 40. The lake bridges are in very good shape. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, Cam, as a shock to all of us, and we've been talking about it for weeks now, but tomorrow night will be the final broadcast of CBS Radio, which has been our national broadcasting partner for almost 90 years at KIRO News Radio.
I'm going to hold my tears here for a while. Let's take a look back at nearly a century of news with former Vice President and General Manager of CBS Audio, Craig Swagler. Great to have you with us this morning, Craig. Good morning.
Good morning, Manda. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Hello, Charlie.
Yeah. Hey, Craig. Long time no speak. Let's, first of all, big picture. You ran the CBS radio network for many years. Just, first of all, can you maybe tell us about that experience, what it was like, and some of the milestones you got to see from the front lines?
It was an amazing organization filled with amazing people that every single day were bringing their absolute best. And those tones and the newscast at the top of the hour is such a short moment in time, but the effort that they brought every single day to craft together only the absolute best in audio journalism. They treated every single one as if it was the only thing they were producing. The competition that went into it, the ensuring of different points of view, it was everything was a labor of love, and it's going to be missed, I think, by Americans across the country. It is an important service that's providing unbiased information, and with less and less places to find that. That's a scary place to find ourselves in.
As Charlie mentioned, we were shocked when we heard the news. There were tears in the newsroom. Were you surprised?
Yes, I was surprised and upset at the same time, mad even, as clearly the value that this organization has brought to Americans and to listeners and stations across the country was not fully assessed in its ability, and it's truly sad to see such a institution go by the wayside. You know, I think of many times libraries as those communal places that people come to receive and find out on their own information. And institutions like CBS, I think, fit into that same category of civic organizations.
What do you think the legacy of CBS Radio will be when they write the history books?
I believe they were on the forefront of not only inventing broadcast journalism, but also being there to write the first draft of history for almost every single major international and national event that has occurred, and not just the ones that we many times echo back to think in the days of Murrow, but also current last 20, 30 years, whether we're talking about the Space Shuttle Columbia, or if we're talking about many of the political campaigns or 9/11, or looking at most recently one of the most challenging times for broadcasters, but also impacting everyone across this country, the pandemic.
And this decision affects so many radio stations and people across the country. How many stations?
There were 700 radio stations by the reporting that's out there in the trades. When I left, we were at 700, so it makes perfect sense for that number. And talking to my colleagues there was over 20 million listeners on a weekly basis. And that's the confounding part at the end of the day is how can you have an entity that reaches so many people and has so much impact? In fact, reaching more people than some of your linear television platforms, but yet making the decision to cease its operations I don't think those two things align.
Well, you're no longer with the network, but is there any indication of where CBS goes from here? I mean, we have Barry Weiss in charge of the news product and new owners. What's your take?
I think that they are navigating a new direction. There is yet to be seen if that direction will result in success. The numbers are always an indicator on where people are engaging, and right now those numbers for many of their television product are not going in the right direction. However, there are very important, historic institutions on the network that still are holding, like Sunday Morning, and so I guess we'll have to wait and see if what this impact will have overall for CBS News and CBS as a brand.
It's going to get real tomorrow when we play World News Roundup for the last time. Can you, for somebody who doesn't know, can you just tell us why that is such a special broadcast?
Absolutely. I was there for the 75th anniversary and there for when Christopher Glenn, who was the long-running anchor of the World News Roundup, said goodbye, and Charlie Osgood gave him a sign-off. The reason that it has such impact is because it was the first. Many people probably don't realize that this broadcast that they hear, elongated broadcast, was once something that was stood up as a result of a crisis component that was happening during World War II in Europe. And the Nazi regime was taking over other countries, and at this time was taking control of Austria. And as this event was happening in Central Europe, Edward R. Murrow was sent over to Europe to find interesting people to speak on the radio. And as part of that, he was continually phoning back to CBS and the bosses there that this event was occurring, and urged them to report on it, to put together a broadcast. Well, there had been news on the radio. This was not the first time news had been told on the radio, and much of it was newspaper reporters or reading what was in the news, and kind of the retelling of things that had happened. The concept of taking the listener to the scene of the story and transporting them there in a live capability had not ever done before. And so using this new technology, radio and shortwave radio, they pulled together a broadcast on a Sunday. They grabbed a staff announcer, Robert Trout, who then later, of course, became very famous as one of the Murrow boys, to host this broadcast. And on Sunday, for a half an hour, they created a special program that was from the many of the cities of Europe, describing what was going on. And Murrow himself was in Vienna and reported live from there, anticipating, as he said, "Hail Herr Hitler," and before he marched into that city. And it was so transformative, so impactful, that they did that again, and they did it again. And that evolved into what today we call the World News Roundup, and invented the newscast.
Tomorrow's the last one.
Unbelievable.
It's a damn shame, actually.
Yeah.
Craig Swagler, always great talking to you. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances after such a legacy. Craig, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Nice to chat with you. A lot of people have been asking and texting, oh my gosh, what are you guys going to do without CBS?
Yes.
All will be revealed at 7:45.
Time to check traffic now. Here's Sully.
I can't tell him now? No, that's called a tease. Looking at the drive now, we've kind of returned to somewhat normal on the 405 corridor after that flatbed was able to reattach its trailer and then get on its way. So all lanes have reopened southbound 405 at 85th in Kirkland, and we're back down to about an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, which is about average, with an hour of that from Linwood. For I-5, it's 45 minutes from Linwood, an hour and 5 all the way from Everett. So relatively normal Thursday. Looking at northbound I-5, some brake lights in Federal Way, some by 272nd, some by 516. Anywhere you find an on and off ramp, you're going to find merging. We've got about a 50-minute trip there. 50 as well up the Valley Freeway. Renton to Bellevue's a half an hour. Lake bridges are still in very good shape. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Traffic is stressful. One thing that's stress-free. Great pricing on over 300 new Subarus. Easy financing. Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Our forecast mostly sunny today and tomorrow. Highs in the mid-70s. Saturday looks great too, 73. Clouds increasing on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 53.
Coming up in the 7:35 commentary, why it's easier to get away with crimes than ever before in Seattle. I'll explain in just a few minutes. And 7:45.
Yep.
Maybe a reveal of what's ahead
Maybe.
for KIRO Newsradio.
Definitely a reveal.
Okay, so stick around for that.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
The G and Ursula Show.
Prices in the Seattle area jumped nearly 5% in April.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Well above the national inflation rate of 3.8%. So, in other words, we're paying more than much of the rest of America is right now.
It feels like a treadmill that continues to get faster and faster and faster. But somebody keeps speeding it up and increasing the incline.
G and Ursula. Watch live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, guaranteed repairs. The dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. This is Sully. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, a full service history. It's all right there at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grow fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer, food in your cart, and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 7:31. From lawyer to mayor to sustainable fashion CEO.
Yeah, Seattle's former mayor has announced his next chapter, and we get the latest from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
The company he's joined is called Philium. It's a Seattle-based startup launched from a Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign back in 2016, specializing in manufacturing textiles, stain, odor, and water-resistant technology.
The fashion industry produces around 10% of total global greenhouse emissions. By 2030, fashion emissions are expected to grow by more than 50%.
The idea is to wash clothes less, extending their life, therefore reducing waste, clothes in the trash. Harrell has had a fascinating career, starting off as a lawyer working in telecom. He's been a fixture in Seattle politics since he was elected to the city council in 2008. He served as council president before taking a short break from politics to work for a community financial institution. And then he was elected mayor. Of course, defeated by current Mayor Katie Wilson last fall.
The Wilson administration will have new ideas. They will have a new vision. By winning the election, they have earned that right.
Harrell posted on LinkedIn about his new role, saying he's excited to assume the CEO role in this dynamic company that is leading breakthrough technology in material science and sustainability.
All right, thank you. Newly released video shows the moment SeaTac police and the King County Sheriff's Office arrested two suspects in a human trafficking investigation at a local motel.
Man, come get my stuff. What are you doing? What is all this for?
The man is now facing federal trafficking charges while a woman was booked into jail on suspicion of human trafficking. The case involves both adult and minor victims. The operation involved multiple agencies, including federal prosecutors with the U.S. Attorney's Office.
7:33 now. Time to check traffic on the threes with Sully.
And coming down from the north end, continues to see the building volumes. Even at 7:30 in the morning, we generally kind of stabilize. But we're looking at about an hour and a half now from Everett to Bellevue, with an hour and 10 of that from Linwood. It is bumper to bumper from 405 and the Linwood split all the way down kind of through Totem Lake. We had an earlier stall there. We're still kind of digging out from some of that. I-5 has also added a few more customers as well. 50 minutes from Linwood down to Seattle, hour and 10 all the way. We're also seeing a little bit more action in Marysville, but nothing you can't handle. Looking at northbound I-5 with some brake lights getting up through the South Center area. Looks like we might have a stall an accident in the HOV lane there. Checking to get a little bit more, get some eyes on that. But we have about a 55-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle, closing in on an hour. Looking at Puyallup to Renton of about 50 minutes. Renton to Bellevue's 35. Lake bridges are still in very good shape. This report brought to you by the Harnish Auto Family. The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is on now through May 31st. Exclusive deals, 0 down and no payments all summer on approval of credit. In Puyallup and Everett, Harnish Auto Family, where people matter.
What a gorgeous Thursday morning. Mostly sunny for today, warming up to 74, 75 in the sunshine tomorrow. Saturday, we'll see a few clouds roll in. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, 73. And then Sunday, building clouds leading to rain on Monday. Right now in Seattle, the sun is shining. It's 54.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. 3 teenagers in a stolen Kia spent this past weekend driving through Austin, Texas, shooting at homes, apartments, businesses, and 2 fire stations with firefighters inside. 12 separate shootings, 4 people shot, 1 critically, a man walking his dog. Kids in apartments where bullets came through the wall. The suspects are 15, 16, and 17. For nearly 24 hours, Austin was in chaos. Nearly 200 officers deployed, SWAT, K-9 units, helicopters, drones, a shelter-in-place order across parts of South Austin. And the suspects kept moving, kept shooting, kept switching stolen vehicles. Shooting number 3, shooting number 7, shooting number 12. And the police couldn't pin them down. Austin police used to have the technology to track a stolen plate in real time, but the city canceled its contract with Flock Safety in June over privacy concerns. The cameras came down. The officers on that manhunt had radios, descriptions, and hope. They were handcuffed by a policy decision made a year earlier in a conference room. Then the suspects made a mistake. They crossed the city line into Manor, Texas. Well, Manor still had its Flock cameras running. The system flagged the stolen Kia almost immediately. Officers were on the vehicle within the hour. 2 arrested by 3:50 in the afternoon. The 3rd picked up at a gas station that evening. 12 shooting scenes across Austin over nearly a day. 1 plate reader hit once they crossed into Manor. Done. Austin's police chief said afterwards the cameras could have helped. The mayor said they probably would have been helpful. Cold comfort to the family pulling drywall and bullet fragments out of a kid's bedroom. Well, now look at Seattle. SPD has its own license plate readers mounted on patrol cars. Detectives also use a real-time crime center, a dashboard that pulls plate hits, camera feeds, and 911 data into one place. Detectives working with it are 3 times more likely to make an arrest. The cameras helped solve 10 homicides last year. In March, Mayor Katie Wilson paused all of it. The plate readers are off while the city audits compliance with the new state Driver Privacy Act. No firm restart date. She also ordered the new cameras installed around Lumen Field for the World Cup to stay dark. Roughly 24 cameras paid for, mounted, switched off. They feed into the system only if there is what she calls a credible threat. The privacy concerns aren't made up. Flock system in other cities has shared data with ICE when administrators didn't realize it. ICE isn't winning popularity contests around here, so that's the concern driving a lot of this. Well, the fix is in the software. Flock added a switch that disables federal sharing. Seattle's own system doesn't use a national network. The data is purged daily. You just need to configure the toggles. Geofence the sensitive sites, finish the audit, keep the tool. Well, Seattle picked lights off. And I want you to consider this. Every person worried about surveillance cameras on light poles is carrying a device in their pocket that already knows where they are, where they've been, who they called, what they had for lunch. We made that trade willingly. Yet a camera that reads a license plate on a public road is somehow the line? The same tool that caught 3 teenagers shooting up Austin the moment they crossed into a city that still had one? Guys, this is a purity test, and purity tests don't keep anyone safe. The World Cup starts June 15th. Hundreds of thousands of people from 180 countries are coming to Seattle, allegedly. 6 matches at Lumen Field, the largest sporting event this city has ever hosted, and the cameras are dark. Talk about a gamble with public safety. It doesn't have to be this way. Austin's mayor is now talking about bringing the cameras back. It took 2 fire stations getting shot up before he got there. Seattle still has the time to avoid learning the hard way. And that's the commentary for Thursday, May 21st, 2026. Text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio. You can also leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. All right, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the slowing we have coming down away from Linwood. We'll break it down next.
Remember when you didn't have to think about energy, you just had it? Now it's the midday crash, the sleepless nights, the moments where you catch yourself thinking, what happened to me? Well, here's the thing. Nothing is wrong with you. Your hormones just stopped holding up their end of the deal. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy isn't a guessing game. It starts with a real sit-down conversation with a female provider who's heard your story before because she hears it every single day. Dr. Lucy Hostetter is a board-certified physician and has spent 7 years doing one thing exceptionally well, helping women feel like themselves again. Your treatment is built around your labs, your symptoms, and your life, not some cookie-cutter protocol. And the follow-up is real because feeling better shouldn't be a one-appointment promise. Now, with 2 convenient locations in Tacoma and Bellevue, expanding their flagship home at Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue, great care is closer than ever, now in Tacoma. Stop Googling symptoms at 2 o'clock in the morning. Start a conversation with someone who actually has answers for you. JuvaCoreHealth.com. That's JUVE CoreHealth.com. Feel like yourself again.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall Tire Dressing. Plus, get 4 times O Rewards points now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
7:43 now. What would help in the commute? Sully, I have an idea.
Yes.
If semi-trucks stopped conking out this morning.
Yeah, that would be a really good thing. I, like you, don't have a lot of control over a lot of different things.
This is true.
So we'll do what we can. But yeah, well, Kerrigan just let me know that there is a stall on eastbound 18 right near the top of the Tiger Mountain Summit in the right-hand lane. A stalled a big rig, so that will cause some problems. It has been pretty slow already up the summit today. Keep that in mind. Our other issue, we did have a conked-out semi-high hauling drywall earlier this morning at 85th and Kirkland, kind of set the tone for that drive coming down from Linwood. And one of the reasons why we're still at about an hour and 10 minutes from Linwood to Bellevue and an hour and a half all the way from Everett. The Everett to Seattle drive is about average. We got about a 50-minute trip from Linwood, hour and 10 all the way from Everett, kind of a garden variety day. Federal Way to Seattle's getting closer to an hour. We have off and on braking here and there. Valley Freeway about 50 minutes, slow through Auburn and up at the north end. By the way, there is kind of a light show as you get by 15th Southwest. A car flipped on that off-ramp, went off into the ditch, and it's on its side. There's a pretty big response there, but that's on the off-ramp to 15th North northwest, not actually on the freeway. Sorry, 15 southwest. This is before 18. But that would explain the little backup we have there. Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. Lake bridges are still in very good shape. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, absolutely gorgeous for the next few days. Mostly sunny, 74 today, 75 tomorrow. We'll see a few clouds on Saturday, 73, and then staying cloudy on Sunday. Few sun breaks, 68, and here comes the rain just in time for Memorial Day. It'll be a little breezy, too, and a high of 59. Right now, sunny and 54 in Seattle.
Okay, coming up, we get a taste of the future of national reporting for us here at KIRO News Radio as we welcome ABC News as a national partner.
You just gave it away.
That's what David told me to do. I do what David tells me to do. ABC's Brad Milkey has a report for us coming up next.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
May in the Pacific Northwest means 1 minute it's sunshine, the next you're looking for your rain jacket. Good thing the Subaru Forester is built for all of it. And right now at Carter Subaru, you can get the 2026 Subaru Forester with 0.9% financing OAC. Plus, Carter Subaru has over 800 Subarus in stock, the largest selection in our state. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 5/31/26.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
7:48 now. As we bid farewell to CBS News at KIRO this week, there have been a lot of questions about what national and international news looks like for us going forward.
Well, the answer is, Charlie already gave it away. We are going to
David told me to.
We are going to partner with the phenomenal reporters at ABC News. And here is ABC's Brad Milkey.
I was not a straight-A student. In fact, I was often mystified by the classmates who were. Like, how y'all just cranking out these A papers night after night? A couple of those students went to Harvard, which is like a star athlete going straight to the pros. Like, welcome to the NFL. Everyone here is a straight-A student. Well, at Harvard, teachers say there's a problem. Too many students are still getting straight A's. Are you a tough grader?
Well, I'm tough with feedback.
This is Professor Joshua Green.
I'm a professor in the Department of Psychology and Center for Brain Science at Harvard University.
And he was on a teachers committee that proposed a new policy, which yesterday we learned Harvard faculty overwhelmingly approved.
In classes that are letter graded, you can only give 20% of the students' A's plus 4 additional A's.
Basically, this is a hard cap on how many A's can be handed out in an undergrad course. If 20% of the class gets 100 on a test and you get a 99, you might be getting an A-. Professors have been advocating for this system for a while now because of what they call grade inflation. So many students are strong, it's become tough to distinguish the truly exceptional. Everyone gets to call themselves an A student.
And as you come up against the limit of 4.0, then it becomes grade compression, where it starts to become hard to differentiate the top students from the students who are in the middle.
Green says grade inflation has always been a thing, but it accelerated at the height of the COVID pandemic.
We were told at Harvard to give students the benefit of the doubt.
Some research has shown that in courses where AI could conceivably help you with your assignments, the A's go up even higher, meaning now students expect to get an A. The real problem is teachers start grading with that in mind, which led to this vote. My question is, if you're one of these teachers who's like, I don't like the system as it is, just grade harder or make your tests harder. Like, take that on yourself. Why does this need to be an organized collective thing?
Well, it is precisely what we call a collective action problem. So the problem is if you as an individual say, well, I'm going to hold the line and I'm going to grade like it's 2010, even though it's 2026, right? Then what happens is students don't like the grades they get in your course. They hear about from other students, oh, this person's a hard grader, and they're less likely to enroll in your course. And if you're teaching an introductory course, I have my colleagues who teach introductory psychology. If students run away from that course in search of easy A's elsewhere, you're denying people entry into your whole department, that major, and into the field, right? So it's not just a matter of ego, of wanting to have more smiling faces in front of you when you're teaching. It is really about whether or not students learn what you have to teach and learn what your colleagues in your department and in your field have to teach.
You know who doesn't like this rule change? Students.
The initial reaction was not positive, and we expected that. We didn't expect, students to cheer for lower grades.
In a survey by the school's undergraduate association a couple months ago, 85% of students disapproved of the policy. Many of them cited undue stress. Like, why should we tear our hair out to go from 99 to 100? Green says that's why this won't be implemented until next year, so that teachers can adjust their tests to be more challenging, to spread out the scores. Other students argue this will make classmates more scared to take risks on, say, an essay. If a teacher can only hand out a limited number of A's, you might not want to give them an excuse to think of you differently. But Green says that sense of fear is exactly what they're trying to correct.
If you feel like you come in with this shiny new car and you have 4 years and your goal is to go 4 years without a scratch, right? That's how students feel, and that is not a healthy or fun or exciting way to go through work. But that means you gotta get over your shiny new car. You gotta get okay with the idea that, that thing's gonna get scratched up and maybe a little banged up, but you're gonna have great stories to tell.
Those stories might involve taking a physics class or taking a drama class. Challenging yourself isn't quite so daunting when now an A-, not an A, is the most common grade at Harvard. And yet, when you ding up your first car, that doesn't stop it from being scary. You might get yelled at. You might pay a price. But parents and teachers always seem to say the same thing. It's annoying, but also true. We're doing this for your own good.
ABC's Brad Mielke.
I'm really looking forward to hearing our friends from ABC every day, starting next week here on KIRO Newsradio.
Yeah, can't wait.
I'm going to slip up,
No, you're not.
Not going to slip up.
You would never do such a
KIRO
thing.
Newsradio and saying AB's. All right. That'll be fun. It's 7:53 now. What is not fun is traffic in a lot of spots, Sully.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is ABC's always been the enemy.
Not anymore. Not for me. I've been with affiliates for 35 years.
I worked for a CBS affiliate down in Portland. I've worked with CBS people for my entire career.
You're going to love them,
so
I promise.
I know they do incredible work. So I'm excited to see what's out there or what's available.
Not much of a choice with CBS going away.
With CBS going away. That's still so sad. Okay, roads right now, sad as well. But don't cry because it's average out there in the roadways. Yeah, like I just reported, you might have to dent up your little car today to get to where you need to go. We're looking at about an hour and a half from Everett to Bellevue and an hour and 15 from Everett to Seattle with the brake lights in the usual places. Northbound I-5, an hour solid there, especially from the beginnings of Boeing Field into downtown. West Seattle Bridge also kind of caught up in this as well, from the high-rise all the way down to about I-5. Rented to Bellevue, about 40 minutes. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, about 50. There's also some heavy braking on westbound 18, trying to tie into I-5. Either end of 512, a little heavy there. One westbound of I-5, eastbound into Puyallup, and some braking through Nisqually as well. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
Our forecast, I think you're going to like it. Mostly sunny, 74 today, 75 tomorrow. A few clouds roll in on Saturday, so we'll be a bit cooler. Building clouds on Sunday and some rain for Memorial Day. Right now in Seattle, it's sunny and 54.
We'll have more of the day's top stories on the way. A word here now for Closets by Design. I was in the home office yesterday. Now that Closets by Design has been there, I'm watching Juno, the Great Dane, flopped out. We have Ralph and Daisy, the wiener dog, surrounding her. Plenty of room where we didn't have room before. That's because Closets by Design installed and designed a wall bed for us. So when company isn't over, and let's face it, they're not always over at our place, we just have that mattress up on the wall, a beautiful desk they built for us. This is one of the many things they do. Closets by Design does laundry rooms, home offices, entertainment centers, mud rooms, all custom built in Kent. It's designed for your home. They send somebody out, they take the measurements, their crew comes in and installs it. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off, plus an additional 15% off, and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN. Tell them Charlie sent you.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is happening right now. The cost of living has gone up, but when buying a car, it doesn't have to feel like it.
Zero Down delivers, no payments all summer, and exclusive 10-day deals in partnership with Tapco Credit Union. With a wide selection of new vehicles and over 400 used vehicles across 5 dealerships, you'll find just what you're looking for. Visit Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup or Kia and Chevy of Everett. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Offers available OAC on select models. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Ebola concern on a flight from Paris to Detroit. CBS's Usher Qureshi tells us it was diverted to Montreal.
In a statement, Air France said there was no medical emergency on board and it is required to comply with the entry requirements of the countries it serves. The Department of Homeland Security says starting today, any foreign travelers who have been in the Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the last 21 days will now have to fly into Washington Dulles Airport.
On this flight, a person who had been in Congo, not showing symptoms, where there has been a deadly Ebola outbreak, was allowed on board in error. The House is expected to vote today on legislation designed to compel President Trump to withdraw from the war in Iran. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi in Washington.
We know that Iran's government is reviewing that latest proposal that the U.S. sent to potentially end this war. We also know that Pakistani mediators are in Tehran today, where they will be having negotiations and discussions. This is the second time that those mediators have been in Tehran just this week. So the frequency is increasing.
Walmart's reported strong sales for the first quarter of the year, but CBS's Jill Schlesinger says the readout shows consumers are under pressure, with higher income households driving a larger share of spending.
Middle to lower income consumers are definitely putting off big ticket purchases like major home renovations and large appliances. And this is clearly a nod towards the fact that prices overall, especially for gas and groceries, are higher.
Even some members of President Trump's own party are sounding concerned about the new Justice Department fund for his allies. Senate GOP leader John Thune spoke before a meeting with the acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Obviously, our members have very legitimate questions about it.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
Senate Republicans may now try to put guardrails on that new government anti-weaponization fund, but President Trump insists the payouts are, quote, peanuts compared to what some of his supporters suffered.
The Trump administration's poised to loosen the federal rule that requires grocery stores and air conditioning companies to reduce greenhouse gases used in cooling equipment. On the Health Watch today, CBS's Christian Benavides tells us
quitting smoking has a wide range of health benefits, and now a study published in the journal Neurology shows kicking the habit may also lower the risk of dementia by 16%. But researchers found that only extends to people who avoided major weight gain after quitting. People who put on at least 22 pounds did not experience a reduced risk.
And checking Wall Street, the Dow is down 82 points. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
8:03. Let's check in with Sully for traffic on the threes.
Kind of a standard Thursday out there, Charlie, across the board. Now we've kind of made it through a couple of different issues. We're going to look at the drive out of the north end by being the heaviest by far. We're at a 90-minute trip from Everett down into the Bellevue area with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. It's bumper to bumper from Linwood all the way down through 522. Slight gap, a little bit more in Totem Lake and Kirkland. Just kind of meandering ugliness as you go southbound. For I-5, it's not terrible through Linwood. It's really from about 155th coming down through Shoreline into the north end of Seattle before you start hitting the brakes on I-5 southbound. But a 55-minute trip from Linwood and about an hour and 15 all the way from Everett. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive, an hour with close to 40 of that from South Center. Those last couple of miles are going to be rough. Rented to Bellevue's over 40 minutes now. The S-curves are active, as is the braking into South Bellevue. Northbound I-167 really heavy now coming out of Kent from well before 180th. That just appears to be volume. You're going to need over 50 minutes from Puyallup, with 30 plus of that from Auburn. And we're still working with a conked-out semi approaching the Tiger Mountain Summit on eastbound 18. My drivers are telling me the right lane is blocked. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Traffic is stressful. One thing that's always stress-free, great pricing on over 300 new Subarus with easy financing at Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
8:04 on the Thursday, May 21st, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Well, they are supposed to protect.
Instead, several law enforcement officers have been targeted in stings involving crimes against children.
KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery is live to explain.
These latest cases came to light yesterday in Arlington and Mason County. A corrections officer who was caught in Mason County by the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force was arrested with, investigators say, images of child sexual exploitation on his phone. And in another case the same day, another officer with Arlington PD was turned in by his girlfriend.
He felt safe. He always has. He's behind a badge. Look at him.
This was a seasoned veteran of the force who had been named Officer of the Year. She tells KIRO 7 TV she saw him looking at these images. She confronted him. She called 911, but he wasn't arrested. So she went hunting through their house on Camino Island and found 2 hard drives full of pictures. Here's Chief Jonathan Ventura.
If the allegations are sustained, we're glad that somebody did the right thing.
Last week, of course, probably you might remember, an officer in Auburn was arrested at work. He was caught in a sting where investigators say he approached someone he thought was a minor online, but it was actually a Pierce County Sheriff's deputy.
When we get predators that essentially bite on these, that's on them.
We are not naming any of these men because none of these cases have been formally charged yet. And of course, it's hard to hear first thing in the morning, but it's important to know that these men are being investigated.
Jillian Raftery reporting live. This comes as Pierce County Sheriff's detectives say one of their own deputies is now charged with felony harassment with threats to kill.
We get more on this from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
The charges come following a domestic violence-related incident reported by a family member back in December. Investigators spent weeks interviewing those involved before the case was sent to prosecutors earlier this month. The deputy, Edgar Ruiz, hired in 2022, was taken off patrol back in January and is now facing termination. The sheriff's office calls the alleged conduct unacceptable and says it will not be tolerated. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A former Pierce County Jail corrections officer just got 10 days for drunkenly backing over his ex-girlfriend's head. The News Tribune reports 23-year-old Cameron Boucher pleaded guilty last month to vehicular assault DUI.
The standard sentence calls for 3 to 9 months, but both sides recommended less, arguing the victim was a willing participant in the incident. Boucher was fired from the jail after his arrest in January. He will serve his time over 3 weekends.
Well, how does a $200 million bike and pedestrian bridge sound? That's the price tag for Bellevue's Grand Connection crossing over 405. And Como reports the city council just voted unanimously to help pay for it.
In all, it's a 1.5-mile project, essentially running from Bellevue City Hall to just south of the Chick-fil-A on the other side of the freeway. Leaders approved a tax increment financing district that's expected to generate about $68 million over 25 years. The footbridge would connect downtown Bellevue with the Wilburton neighborhood. City leaders say it'll expand light rail access and drive new redevelopment. The official cost estimate is between $175 and $230 million.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Sully, you're doing a little digging on that story, trying to find out why such a high price tag, right?
Well, that, and I'm also trying to figure out why it's even necessary. I mean, there's already bike access at Northeast 8th. There's already bike and pedestrian access and sidewalks at Northeast 4th, right within 500 feet of this proposed thing. And connecting to Wilburton, isn't that what the light rail does? In that same exact location, it goes right from the Bellevue City Hall, from where this bridge is going to start, to the Wilburton station. I don't understand why this is necessary.
You have questions? I trust you will find answers.
Yeah, so I've reached out to the project director at the city of Bellevue to find out how this kind of came all to be.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I get it. You want to give us, but I mean,
$235
million, and there's nothing on the website that expresses any potential numbers of people who might use this. Like, yeah, I mean, if 800,000 people a day are going to use this, great. I don't think that's going to be the case.
So Sully will be digging. He is in the studio with us. Producer David Burbank in the studio as well.
Ian Douglas is in for Nick Kresha on the board and picking the music. Katrina Gashard is at the KIRO Radio News Desk.
All right, beautiful day ahead and a busy hour ahead for us. We hear a lot about the dangers of artificial intelligence, but there are some exciting developments too. We'll hear from Josh Tiringel, the author of AI for Good.
Also, G. Scott will stop by to weigh in on the new business venture for the former mayor, Bruce Harrell.
It's 8:09. Crews are battling a house fire in Issaquah. Eastside Fire and Rescue says the homeowners are safe as crews continue to put out the flames. It's happening on 158th Street near Mirrormont Park. That fire may have started in the bedroom. We'll bring you the latest as we learn more.
The 4-year-old child at the center of an Amber Alert out of Mason County has been found safe, and KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker reports the boy's father is in custody.
We're trying to figure out charges, possibly a felony charge for eluding police officers, because initially we understand he did take off and leave the child behind. We have a potential assault charge going on as well.
The State Patrol says 26-year-old Joshua Moen took off with his son during a supervised visit yesterday in Shelton.
Well, it's now safe to swim at Madison Park and Seward Park beaches just in time for this warmer weather. According to the Seattle Health Department, tests now show low bacteria levels there, but recent tests show dangerous levels of toxic algae at Green Lake. Don't swim there. Keep your pets away from the water, and you're asked to avoid areas where there is scum if you are boating.
Northwest Trek Wildlife Park and near Eatonville has welcomed 2 American bison calves in less than a week. The first, a male named Torrent, was born Mother's Day weekend. A second calf arrived 5 days later. Both are healthy, sticking close to their moms in the free roaming area. You can spot them on the Discovery Tram Tour. Just look for the rusty orange coats among the bigger, darker adults.
Well, right now, dogs can take in the sea air on all Washington State ferry routes.
But yes, people are stoked when we did this in the trial, and we hope that people are even more stoked now. I know there are a little bit more restrictions in the trial, but as of right now, this is what we're calling no longer a trial, but permanent.
That's Justin Fujioka with the State Ferry Service. He says last year's pilot program helped them create this year's rules. Pets allowed on the car deck and outside, and in special pet areas inside, just not in the galleries or on seats.
While Cal Raleigh is on the injury list, his replacement is doing his best to fill the Big Dumper's shoes. M's catcher Johnny Pareda launched his first MLB home run in yesterday's victory against the White Sox.
The pitch. Swung on, ripped, left field, it's high, it's deep, it is gone! Johnny Pareda, his first Major League home run, and it's given the Mariners a 3-2 lead in the 7th inning.
Seattle got Pareda in a trade with the Twins in January. Mariners get a much-needed day off today, and then they head to Kansas City for a 3-game weekend series against the Royals.
At 8:12, let's get a check on the weather. Nice sunny start to the day. It's already 57 in Seattle. We're headed for a high of 74 tomorrow, Friday, sunny, 75, 73. The forecast high on Saturday with a lot of sun. We start to see the clouds coming in on Sunday. 68 will be our high. Monday looking like that's when the rain returns for Memorial Day. As I said, it's 57 in Seattle right now with a lot of sun.
And it's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes, and here's Chris Sullivan.
That's why our text line is undefeated, or this is why. Doug in Mount Vernon, you know, we're talking about our really favorite Bellevue now pedestrian overpass of 405. Said toll it.
There you go.
Turnstiles on it or something?
Turnstiles for pedestrians and bicyclists, and that'll pay for it. I keep them coming. Our text line, you guys are really smart. You're really funny. You give us great information from time to time. It's always good to make us laugh. So, yeah, keep that coming. Good one, Doug. Give you a golf clap. For that. Looking at our map right now, you know, we're doing okay. I mean, for a Thursday, the brake lights are right where they usually are. They're not any more severe, really, than most days. An hour and 25 to an hour and a half from Everett into Bellevue right now, with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. I mean, it's pretty thick there all the way down through about Kirkland now. Southbound I-5, not as bad, about an hour and 5 hour and 10 from Everett down into Seattle now with bumper to bumper from before 145th. Lake bridges are still good. Federal Way to Seattle's about an hour, settled into that really heavy braking past the West Seattle Bridge. Renton to Bellevue's over 40 minutes. The S-curve's very slow, but then also the top of I-90 is a little heavy getting into South Bellevue. Behind that, though, the Valley Freeway still up over 50 minutes. Really heavy in Auburn and right there as you get into the 405 corridor. And we're still working with the stalled semi, as near as I could tell, over Tiger Mountain. My camera's not working there on eastbound 18. My drivers are still telling me the right lane is blocked, though. This report brought to you by the Harnish Auto family. The Harnish Auto family super sale is on now through May 31st. Exclusive deals, 0 down, no payments all summer on approval of credit. In Puyallup and Everett, Harnish Auto family. People matter.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Well, you've no doubt heard the different opinions on AI right now. Some people think it's going to save us. Others think it could be the end of the world.
Well, journalist Josh Terangel says the most important AI revolution is not happening in Silicon Valley boardrooms or doomsday think tanks. You know him for a number of things. He was previously the deputy managing editor of Time. Again, the resume is long. He's out with a new book called AI for Good, and Josh is with us right now. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Josh, what got you interested in writing this book?
You know, I was reporting on AI just after ChatGPT came out, and for a couple of weeks, I was having the best time because it's just, rivalries and money and technology, and everybody in AI knows each other and kind of hates each other, all of which can, sustain you for a couple of weeks. And then I kept running into this very basic question, which is, hey, what's this good for? Like, what's actually going to happen that's going to change people's lives? And as you guys mentioned, there's sort of two stock answers. One is, it's going to cure cancer. And then the other is, it may rob humanity of all of its existence. And I sort of thought, I bet you there's something in between.
Yeah.
So lots of people are freaked out by AI. I'm a woman of a certain age. I used to embrace technology, but it's hard to wrap your head around it. So tell me what it's good for.
Yeah, so I really set out not knowing. And what I discovered is that there's a bunch of people who are not in tech companies, in healthcare, in education, in government, who are using it in a sort of evolutionary way to fix problems. So, I went to Cleveland Clinic, which is one of the 3 best healthcare systems in America. And what I discovered is that, first of all, they made a very important distinction. They said, this is too important for technologists. Our doctors are going to be in charge of how we use AI. And piece by piece, they found ways to really improve healthcare. So one is just sepsis, which is about the worst thing that can happen inside a human body. It's a sort of response to an infection that in fact creates inflammation and all of these terrible things, and it kills about 350,000 Americans per year. And they said, it is unconscionable that there are a couple thousand people a year dying in our care of sepsis. So first, they talked to doctors across the system and said, we're going to try and reduce it. And then they brought in this sepsis prediction software, and it is AI, but it's run by doctors. And all the AI does is when it detects through all of the signals that a human being can give out that sepsis might be present, it alerts the doctors and it reminds them to check for it. Because if you catch sepsis early enough, it's treated with an antibiotic and nothing really happens. And so doing that over the course of a year, and again, I'm summarizing, but over the course of a year, they reduced mortality in the hospital by 41%. And the CEO of the clinic was like, look, AI is not perfect, but we saved 1,000 lives. That seems pretty good. So that's just one example. I mean, in education, what I saw is, there's a lot of technology that's been brought into the classroom over the years. And most of the time, teachers are kind of over it because all of this tech overpromises what it's going to do. Oh, it's going to engage students. It's going to make teachers' lives easier. And most of the time what it does is get the people who make ed tech software much richer. And then a couple months or years later, they rip it out because it doesn't work. And so I chronicled this sort of collaboration between Khan Academy, which is a very well-known nonprofit, and OpenAI, which is a very well-known now profit. And what they tried to do is make an AI tutor that could mimic Sal Khan. And that sounds easy, but it's actually a lot harder than you think because you go to GPT for answers, right? It's trained as an assistant, not a tutor. And so I sort of wrote about how hard it is to actually make AI do something different than just be your assistant. And then on top of it, what happens when it hits a classroom, I think what everybody was surprised by is that kids were kind of like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's one more thing on my laptop that is opened up and I have to use. But teachers, specifically these like really great career teachers, discovered that all the teaching tools in Khan Academy can actually revolutionize the way they talk to kids. Because instead of a lecture, you can go into the tool and say, I want a lab. I want to figure out how to take this thing that I've been lecturing about for 20 years and that kids may begin to tune out. Let's make it active. I want you, Khan Migo is the name of the bot, to alert the kids to talk to me as soon as they get stuck, as soon as there's a problem. And what I witnessed in these classrooms, specifically in Indiana, but in other places as well, is it was a really useful tool for teaching and grabbing engagement and making kids more social and changing learning. So there is a lot of potential out there. None of it's easy, but there's a ton of potential.
I'm glad you brought up education because I just saw a little blurb of a commencement speech and AI came up and they actually booed the commencement speaker, which kind of surprised me because the younger set is always first to embrace the new technology. What's going on there?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. I think if you've been paying attention the last 20 years, you've seen a lot of the companies that brought us social media, and some of those are delivering AI as well, overpromise what it's going to do, take money, take attention, and not really care about society. And so these kids are skeptical, and for very good reason. And I think that skepticism is going to serve them well because, the whole point of this book is that there are great uses, but we're going to have to demand that the companies deliver these uses the way we want them. We're going to have to get involved because if not, we're just going to sit downstream of whatever they give us, whatever's most profitable, and we're going to suffer for it. So I actually think it's a huge positive that young kids are very skeptical of AI and that they're going to, I hope, insist that it be used in ways that help them enrich their lives, make their lives more meaningful. But I would be very concerned if they were, sort of clapping, cheering it on, like, this is going to take skepticism and involvement and real passion if we want it to work the way we want it to work.
Josh, you've been reporting on this for quite a long time now. What's your sense of where things are headed, even in the next 6 months, year?
So the technology, and I think it's really important to separate the tech from the companies. The technology is getting better. And there was a period of time when AI first sort of came out onto the market where everyone sort of assumed the pace of improvement would slow down. It is not slowing down.
Oh, no.
In some ways, it's speeding up. And so that means that we only have so much time in which we can mold it. And I think that's why it's really urgent to get involved and to use the tools. And I can give you guys lots of easy ways to understand how they might change your life and not be afraid of them. And I think you have to get involved in it. Because pretty soon this stuff will be so powerful that it will be dictated to us, and we do not want that to happen.
All right, Josh, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Josh Tarangel. The book is AI for Good. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
I need to read that book.
Yeah. Good things can happen.
Yeah.
People are also very concerned. Got to recognize that.
Rightfully so.
Well, Competitive Eating's biggest star is headed back to Coney Island, but not without some off-the-stage controversy. Here's ABC's Dave Packer.
17-time champion Joey Chestnut is set to return to the Nathan's famous International Hot Dog Eating Contest on the 4th of July while serving probation after pleading guilty to a misdemeanor battery charge. Chestnut was accused of slapping a man during a night out at an Indiana bar. A judge approved travel outside the state, clearing the way for him to compete for the famous mustard belt. Organizers say the incident happened outside league activities and does not affect his eligibility. Dave Packer, ABC News.
There's one thing I'll never understand.
Competitive eating?
Yes.
You don't watch the 4th of July hot dog eating contest?
It's always on in the background
ESPN?
somewhere. No.
Sam and I gather around the screen.
It makes me gag.
Cannot believe how much you can pack away.
Ugh. Why?
My girlfriend can't watch it, and I love it.
Right, Ian?
It's my favorite part of the weekend.
It's 8:23. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
I just gag at those.
Me too. It's gross.
And the thing about that is, I think it's probably just because I don't want wet bread.
Yeah.
But that's how they eat the bun. They just dunk it in water.
Dunk it in the water.
They dunk the water, so it just turns into a.
And I need condiments with.
Yeah, in a mush in your. Like
I'm just
no,
gagging thinking about it.
No, I mean it's hard enough to eat a hot dog fast. I wouldn't recommend it.
Why do you want to eat it fast?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna enjoy my hot dog.
But then, it's the wet bread that I think just gives me the. You want to know about traffic, don't you, Charlie?
I do.
Yeah, whatever. We're looking at you're eating some wet bread on southbound 405 from Linwood down through basically Totem Lake. Now we're bumper to bumper on that entire corridor. It's an hour and maybe an hour and 15 just from Linwood down to Bellevue, which puts us closer to an hour and 40 minutes all the way from Everett. That is about a 25 minute delay over what you might expect. We're up to about an hour and 15 now from Everett to Seattle, with just about an hour of that from Linwood on down. So from 155th down across the Ship Canal Bridge, it is not going to be pretty. Coming up from the other direction, we're trying to clear out, but we still have slowing on northbound I-5 right around 56th in South Tacoma, but overall 45 or less to go from Olympia to Tacoma. Federal Way to Seattle still at about an hour. Renton to Bellevue 40 minutes up over the top of I-90, still a little slow. We're trying to clear out on the Valley Freeway. We're back under 50, which is great. Lake bridges are fine. Looks like we've cleared the stalled semi at the top of Tiger Mountain. We do have some slowing on westbound 520 approaching I-405. And for those of you heading up into Everett, looks like we got a stall blocking a right lane of northbound 5 right at the Mill Creek exit. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, very nice for today and tomorrow and Saturday. 74 today, 75 tomorrow. We'll cool off a little bit Saturday as a few clouds roll in. Sunday looks like a mostly cloudy day with some sun breaks in. 68. Monday, is still looking wet for Memorial Day. A little breezy too, and a high of 59. Right now it is sunny in Seattle and 54.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports on former Mayor Bruce Harrell's new job.
And Sully, don't go away. You have a choke point coming up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about new fish and passage project that's going to cause some trouble for freight over on the Kitsap County and North Pierce.
Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Naturalists from Puget Sound Express report that it's officially humpback whale season in the Salish Sea. Humpbacks were absent from our waters for nearly 100 years due to whaling. In 1997, a female humpback returned, and in 2003, she brought a calf with her, which is when she earned the name Big Mama. She has kept returning along with 8 known calves, 7 grand calves, and 4 great grand calves, and she's back this year as well. Each summer, dozens of other humpbacks return. It's become known as the Humpback Comeback. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds, Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco bill, and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:30. Former Mayor Bruce Harrell has been pretty quiet in the 5 months he's been out of office.
But now he's launching his next chapter. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery here to tell us all about it.
And that chapter is as a sustainable fashion startup CEO.
Affiliate Corp is a material science company that works with clients in the textile space who want a high-performance, eco-friendly solution for natural fabrics.
Okay, that's a lot of science, but basically they use technology to make fabrics more stain, odor, and water resistant. And you've probably seen their technology for companies like North Face and Cabela's. Fashion and tech aside, Mayor Harrell has lots of experience, I'm sure, translates, of course, budgets and management.
At its core, budget is a guide for the future, a course for the year ahead, and an investment strategy for our community.
And, of course, arguably working for one of the toughest cities in America to be a mayor. He's the fourth one-term mayor in a row, unseated by Mayor Katie Wilson last fall. Harrell actually started his career as a lawyer working in telecom, then joined the Seattle City Council in 2008 and served as council president. He took just a short break for being the general counsel for the Rainier General Community Development Fund before running for mayor.
Okay, well, G. Scott has his thoughts on this. He's going to join us in about 15 minutes to discuss further. Thanks, Jillian. It's 8:32.
A new survey ranks Washington hospitals 40th in the country when it comes to patient safety. We get more from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
That's a drop of 9 spots from 2025. Only 18% of hospitals in Washington that participated got an A.
I mean, Connecticut, 64% of the hospitals have an A grade. Washington, it's under 20%.
Drew Oliveira is the medical director for the Washington Health Alliance. He says the grading in this survey comes down to accidents, errors, injuries, even infections patients experience at these hospitals.
Well, this video went viral. A Spokane County woman accused of trying to run down a child on a dirt bike pleaded not guilty yesterday.
She's trying to run. Oh my God.
Deputies say she drove onto a sidewalk in Cheney last month. KIRO 7 TV reports 56-year-old Wendy Clemente is charged with attempted first-degree assault and DUI. Her next court date is August 10th.
A swarm of honeybees has set up temporary camp on an Auburn playground. According to a Facebook post from Auburn Parks, Arts and Recreation, the bees are clustered at the Isaac Evans Park playground. Staff say swarming is a natural part of a honeybee colony's life cycle, with scout bees searching for a new home. The city is asking people to keep kids and pets away and please don't spray the bees, they say. Crews are working to safely remove and relocate the swarm. As I'm telling you about this, I'm looking at a picture of it, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's a lot of bees.
Yeah. I don't think I need to be told to stay away.
Right there on the playground equipment.
All over that.
Ooh.
Yeah, be careful. 8:33 now. Let's check in with Sully.
Be careful?
Oh, no.
Really? Wow. I'm not sure if there's any other way to say that.
What else
what else are you going to go with? But
just
really.
go with Charlie. That's very clever.
Oh, yeah.
So clever.
Gotcha.
What's buzzing on the road?
Wow, Doug. Wow. You're channeling Doug in Mount Vernon, who's been lighting up our text line with some dad jokes today, liking it.
Would you say that one stings?
Maybe.
Wow, it just got quiet in here.
Wow, good one. I don't have a comeback because I'm looking at the roads. For once, these drives coming down out of the north end, we're still up at an elevated hour and a half from Everett into Bellevue, with an hour and 10 of that away from Linwood. But it looks like we might be getting a little bit better at the north end part of that drive. Still struggling through Totem Lake into North Kirkland. I-5 is still very slow from the beginnings of 145th, so just before that out of Shoreline. Hour drive from Linwood, hour and 20 all the way. Renton to Bellevue, though, has added 10 more minutes to the trip. Those S-curves are very active, and you really don't get off the brakes off and on till you're up to north of Factoria. Then you have the stuff over the top of I-90, so that's a 10-minute delay there. Valley Freeway still up over 45 minutes. Back just under an hour Federal Way to Seattle, but not by much. Those last couple of miles are going to be very difficult. The lake bridges, though, are in fine shape. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, nice day. It's going to be 74 in the sunshine for today. Tomorrow, another sunny day, 75. Saturday looks nice. We'll see some early clouds, but partial clearing for the afternoon. Clouds increasing on Sunday. Still looking for some rain to arrive for the holiday. A little breezy, too, and a high of 59. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 54.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, truck drivers will face a 28-mile detour as a fish passage project shuts down Highway 3 south of Gorst for 2 weeks.
And Sully has all the details for us.
And if you don't know where Gorst is, I'm sure there are some of us who don't get over there a lot. It's just south of Bremerton. It's right where Highway 16 and Highway 3 join there as you start working your way up that part of the Sound. But State Route 3 will be closing just south of Gorst, right there at Sunny Slope Road on Saturday, June 13th. The road will be closed around the clock until early Monday, June 29th. That's 16 days of full closures on what is the primary route from Bremerton down to Belfair, through Gorst, and then continuing on south. A lot of people use Highway 3 to go get down through Shelton and work their way down to 101, get over to the coast that way. So it's a very active spot, even though there isn't a lot of people who live in that general area. I mean, it's kind of all unincorporated, kind of native out there. But again, it's a vital route, especially for trucks. And here's what's happening is they're replacing the fish culvert at Gorst Creek. So drivers on southbound SR3 are going to be detoured on Sunny Slope Road. Northbound 3 will be detoured at Southwest Lake Flora Road. 7-mile detour. If you don't know where any of that is, there's a map at mynorthwest.com that spells this out specifically. The Washington Department of Transportation's Angela Cochran says local access, though, will still be available.
The highway, so that entire section of highway will be removed, so nobody can get through there. But you can get up to the closure point to get to businesses.
But you can't go through. Truck drivers will face a 28-mile detour to get around this closure. WashDOT's Cochran says it's really best to keep those big rigs on the bigger roads.
The truck route is through State Route 302 and State Route 16. It is a long detour, but it is the best detour for the truck.
And in general, drivers in that entire area just north of the Key Peninsula should be prepared for delays.
People who use those routes will want to plan some extra time just to make sure, during busy travel times that they can get to their destination on time.
The contractor had to wait until this time of year to fix the culvert because Ghost Creek really runs dry over the summer, and that's really the best time to get in there and install it. Of course, the fish are in there the rest of the year, and they don't want to impact the fish migration. So there are only certain times of the year when they can do this. Now is that time. Project does have some weather-dependent components what could impact the timeline.
Construction is very complex. Schedules can change, and so if something crazy happens with the weather, that is going to be something that could affect the schedule. We do have to have dry conditions for this work.
Closure set to begin 7 a.m. Saturday, June 13th, last through 7 a.m. Monday, June 29th. 16 days of full closures there. If you're heading that general vicinity or maybe using that as a cut through to go somewhere, just be prepared. Check mynorthwest.com for the map and keep your ears peeled to what WashDOT's got going on and what we're reporting during those closures.
Where are we with all these fish passage projects, Sully? It seems like we have a lot of them down and a lot to go.
Yeah, see, that's the question. Is your question about the number that need to get done or the ballooning price tag to finish the job?
Yes.
Okay, so for both, we're about, last time I checked on the hard numbers, we're north of 80% done in terms of the passages that need to be done. Again, if you don't know, if you're new to the region, we're under a federal mandate, a lawsuit, a federal rule for judge's ruling to restore the fish habitat that was kind of cut off by the building of the roads here. And so they've handled all the big stuff first. It was supposed to cost about $4 to $6 billion to do it. It's closer to $10 billion now to do it, because here's the problem. They did all the big stuff first. We've seen projects on I-5. We've seen projects on I-90, on 405. Now we're down to Gorst Creek, which is not a very large creek. And so, but they're still covered under this lawsuit. So so it's costing more and more money to do the final pieces, but the bigger ones have been done. I mean, look at 405. Look what they're doing right there by T-Mobile. Sorry, not T-Mobile, by, actually T-Mobile the company, not T-Mobile the park, right there in Factoria. They've had a 405 torn up for several years. They're restoring a creek that goes under there that is just not passable. So that's one of the bigger ones. But yeah, they have to do it, and we're under a court order. But about more than 80% done, but the price tag's almost doubled.
Okay, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the southbound 405 corridor that's really heavy away from Linwood. We'll break it down next.
We're here for Closets by Design. You ever have one of those mornings where you're already behind, your closet's a mess, your pantry is just packed, your garage, well, you're stepping over things. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just most homes weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Closets by Design does so many things. We're talking laundry rooms, home offices, pantries, wall beds, entertainment centers, mudrooms, everything. All custom built in Kent, designed for your home. They have a designer come out, take the measurements. You help plan it with them. Nothing off a shelf, nothing pre-made. Less clutter and less frustration for your life, because everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. You really need to check out closetsbydesign.com or call them. Their number is 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, honest advice you can trust, 425-649-6000.
8:42 now. 8:43. Let's check in with Sully for traffic.
And we've added a new stall and not in a very good spot. It's on southbound I-5 right before you get to 145th in North Seattle. So coming down on a Shoreline, the right lane is partially blocked. It's kind of where the bus barn comes on, I believe, and so there's kind of an on-rampy area there. This is just kind of over the fog line a bit, so it's not causing too big of a deal. But if some IRT or if the emergency vehicles show up, we might have a right lane fully blocked there. Either way, we're looking at an hour drive from Linwood to Seattle, an hour and 20 all the way from Everett. Linwood to Bellevue is an hour and 10 to an hour and 15. It has been a struggle all day. Right now, the brake lights begin just before Canyon Park and extend all the way down into Kirkland, about an hour and a half all the way from Everett. Coming up from the south end, we're looking okay. I mean, there are some brake lights through Lacey, DuPont, a little bit in South Tacoma, but under 45 minutes to get you to Tacoma. And then Federal Way to Seattle's running just under an hour. Most of the brake lights there at the north end of Boeing Field, working your way past the West Seattle Bridge. Renton to Bellevue still up at an elevated 50-minute trip. That's just a lot of volume today, with brake lights kind of extending all the way up from 44th past Southeast 8th before kind of freeing up. Valley Freeway behind that, 45 minutes plus. There are heavy brake lights at the north end, trying to get better in Auburn. It's still just a little slow there. The lake bridges, though, are in very good shape. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, lots of sunshine for the next few days. Today, 74, 75 tomorrow. Saturday, a few clouds mix in, 73, and then increasing clouds Sunday as we get ready for some rain on the holiday on Monday. 59 on Monday, a little breezy too. Right now in Seattle, sunshine and 54.
Well, coming up, in case you missed it, former Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell has a new job, and G. Scott has some thoughts. He shares those next on Seattle's Morning News.
Sometimes injuries can happen when you least expect them.
What broke my shoulder was reaching for my phone. I was trying to get the phone away from my cat.
That's how Heather tore her rotator cuff.
There was that hope. I was like, maybe this will heal on its own. And I waited a little bit, and it was not getting better.
She just couldn't take the pain anymore, so she saw Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
By the next day, my shoulder was already doing better. I have my arm back again, which was just wonderful.
Seems like she made the right choice.
I'm so glad I didn't do surgery.
So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
I said to him at our last appointment, I was like, you better not retire because I want to know if anything else goes wrong with my body. You're there to be able to fix it because he's a miracle worker.
A lot of businesses are gearing up for a busy summer, and that means choosing a bank with the accounts, tools, and services you need to be successful. The right bank can make a big difference, right, Brad?
It sure can, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, loans, credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you can grow with confidence.
Yeah, but what about when you need help with something? Is there a real person who's available and who knows how to help?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the services that would be most helpful.
Which is exactly why we say WaFd has you covered. To learn more, visit wafdbank.com or stop by your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, loans subject to credit approval.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, the sun is shining, and in the studio now with us from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio. G. Scott, good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
Also shining?
Yes, yeah, you little shine there. Okay, let's get right to it. Former Mayor of Seattle, Bruce Harrell, has landed as CEO of Philium, a Seattle textile tech company, about 6 months, as you guys know, after losing that re-election bid to the current mayor, Katie Wilson. So before politics, as we all know, he was a managing partner at his own Seattle law firm, and he served 12 years on the city council. So here is someone who actually has a real resume that is going back to the private sector, not someone who, got paychecks from family. The contrast here in this situation is this. He was a mayor 6 months ago. Today, he is a CEO. I think Bruce Harrell should still be mayor, but at the same time, one of the things I've also learned that sometimes when folks leave the public and go back to private, and especially if they're qualified, they can really make some good money in that. I mean, you guys have Rob McKenna on your show, and he's doing pretty well these days. So, again, before he held office, there's somebody that ran a law firm, right? This guy has actually real experience when doing things, so running stuff. So when you go back to the private sector, it's easy to get that. One last thing I'll just say is this. A lot of times you can run for or be given a title. You can't win or get a skill. Skills last forever. Titles are very temporary.
I think anybody who is mayor of Seattle, that's basically a 4-year job and you're out, at least for the past 24 years or so. I was just going over the list. Jenny Durkin is now an attorney. Mike McGinn, remember him? He's with an organization called America Walks. No one cares about Ed Murray. And Greg Nichols is a happy grandpa on Facebook.
Nice.
So 4 years you're out. You got to figure out something. Keep that LinkedIn updated.
Yeah, you do. Seattle don't play any games when it comes to having a reoccurring mayor again. So
I got to tell you this. Kate in Auburn, she texted the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Yeah. She goes, because Harrell's working in clothing, right? She says, I thought you were going to say the former mayor had a new T-shirt line, and all it read was, miss me?
I would say that I think that if they ran the election again, they redid the election again, both on a national level and here for mayor of Seattle, it'd be the same result. It'd be the same result. Here's one thing I've learned.
You think?
Facts don't matter.
People are stubborn.
Facts don't matter. It's all about how you feel, right? Well, I feel that this is going to happen, even though it literally never happens. And you can fact, and still people get caught up in those narratives of yesteryear. They're just straight up outdated narratives. And so if the mayor election was to happen again, the guy, Bruce Harrell, 12 years on the city council, lawyer, won a Rose Bowl with the University of Washington. He's from this area, graduated from high school. He's at Garfield. He still wouldn't win.
I knew something would get you fired up.
You know what? I just get fired up every single day. Hey, how was the commentary today? Just kidding. I'll ask you later.
I think you'll like it.
What?
It's actually kind of based on something you asked Chief Sean Barnes.
Was it about cameras?
It was.
How'd you guess?
Oh, how did I guess? You know, the cameras that happen like that makes way too much sense. I mean, the cameras. Like, I don't know, because, the cameras, like, just,
Okay, 2 for 2 getting G fired up.
Yeah.
Do you have 3? Do you have 3?
I just got a question. For the people that's like, I don't want any cameras. When you leave your house, right? When you leave your house in your neighborhood, right? And you look across the street and you're like, Lois has got cameras. And you look next to you, you're like, there's Brian. Oh my gosh, he has cameras. Do you guys get upset about the private cameras in your neighborhoods?
No.
Have you ever seen somebody that has been, by the way, a lot of times when we hear about people talking about crime, these are the people that's never impacted, so they have no idea about crime. But have you ever heard of someone who's had been impacted by crime and it was like, hey, listen, I want you to find out the person that hurt my loved one, but don't use the cameras.
What'd you put in your smoothie this morning, G?
Go ahead, kick me out.
You may be excused.
Yes.
Thanks for stopping by.
G and
Always a
Ursula
pleasure.
coming up 9 to noon. He's fired up today. We need to check with Sully for traffic.
And we are looking at a drive that is improving. We're picking up the pace here and there, even with this stall blocking the right lane, right where the bus barn comes on, southbound 5, right after 175th. We're seeing a travel time that's back under 50 minutes from Linwood to Seattle and an hour and 10 from Everett. We've also picked up 10 minutes on 405. It's only an hour from Linwood and an hour and 20 all the way from Everett. So that's good. Northbound I-5. Not bad through Federal Way, up through South Center. Nice little gap at freeway speed up to about the beginnings of Boeing Field. But we still have 40 minutes from South Center into downtown, which puts us at an hour all the way from Federal Way. Valley Freeway still 50 minutes. Auburn is still slow, and the north end is still pretty heavy as well. And then Renton to Bellevue has picked up the pace. We're back under 45, so that's positive. That's about a 5-minute improvement. Across the lake, we're still doing really well. However, westbound 90 and westbound 520 are both very slow, approaching 405. Looking at 16, not being too bad. A little slowing past Cheney Stadium in the eastbound direction over Tiger Mountain. We're not bad at all now that we've cleared that stalled semi. So we got there. It was a struggle at times. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast is beautiful. What a gorgeous morning. Mostly sunny, 74 for today, a tad warmer tomorrow. Saturday looks like we'll see some clouds early on. Partial clearing. That'll keep us cooler, about 73. Sunday, here come the clouds. And then Monday, here comes the rain just in time for Memorial Day. Little breezy, too, and a high of only 59. Right now in Seattle, the sun is shining. It's lovely and 54.
I know it'll be a little early tomorrow, but tomorrow is the final CBS News World News Roundup. The longest running newscast in America. It comes to an end tomorrow, 5 a.m., so be sure to check that out. And, of course, stick around for the G and Ursula show. If you own a new car, the technology that's helping you drive safely is also taking notes on how you drive. G and Ursula talk about that coming up next.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo,
your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
The Harnish Auto Family Super Sale is happening right now. The cost of living has gone up, but when buying a car, it doesn't have to feel like it. Zero down delivers, no payments all summer, and exclusive 10-day deals in partnership with Tapco Credit Union. With a wide selection of new vehicles and over 400 used vehicles across 5 dealerships, you'll find just what you're looking for. Visit Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup or Kia and Chevy of Everett. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Offers available OAC on select models. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Lumen Field on Seahawks game days is your key to unlocking premium hospitality, views, and experiences. Host a memorable event in your own private game day suite. Or see an up-close, unique perspective from sideline and end zone field seats.